Chapter 1541. Red Cloud was so excited that she took a deep breath and said, "Thank you. I won't let you down." This cave was a little small, and Red Dawn was sharing a room with Ji-Ling-er. On one hand, it could improve their relationship, on the other hand, it could exchange cultivation experiences. On the other hand, Chen Shang was concocting pills in a secret room. I wonder how Nine Heaven World is doing. I really want to go back quickly, but if I go back like this, I would be very regretful. Before Chen Shang left, he planned to buy a large amount of high-level medicine to get a large amount of holy stone and smithing materials before going back. The next step was to refine the sacred animal Dan and the Tianlong Dan. There was no difficulty in refining the sacred animal Dan, he only needed to refine a few batches to master it. This heavenly dragon grass looks like cotton, but why is it so hard to burn? Chen Shang felt a headache coming. The sky dragon grass that was like a cotton ball, every time it used a strong flame to burn it, a bit of its heat would be dissolved. When it dissolved the heat, it used the sky dragon grass's energy, and when that energy was used up, the sky dragon grass would be destroyed as well. If one wanted to refine the sky dragon grass, one must use a very suitable flame, undergo thousands and thousands of adjustments in a short period of time, and finally know the most suitable temperature for the fire. Every sky dragon grass was different, so every time before refining, one had to carry out this adjustment. Of course, this was something that he needed to do when using the foreseeing alchemy. Chen Shang had tried it before, but his foreseeing alchemy was still stuck at the ground-level pill stage, so he failed right from the start. You have to ingest it in the shortest amount of time, or else you won't be able to tame this heavenly dragon grass. Su Meiyao said. If you use the god purification, then I'm afraid you won't have much time to do it. At least before the heavenly dragon grass releases its heat of energy. Chen Shang held the soft and white cotton ball. This was sky dragon grass, no matter how you looked at it, it did not seem to be something related to dragons. That time is too short. It should only be for 10 breaths of time. It seems that I will have to use my strongest divine power and flames to defeat it in that instant. This is my full power attack. Chen Shang patted the Yanlong furnace. I don't know if this cauldron can withstand it, but if I make a mistake, it would be equivalent to attacking this cauldron. Now that Chen Zhang's saint force had already fused with the god power he used to refine the pellet was even more powerful. After throwing the heavenly dragon grass into the pill furnace, he immediately concentrated on circulating his divine power. The divine power formed into two types, one was the sacred fire, and the other was a spiritual attack. Boom! The pill furnace fiercely jumped up, causing a very strong explosion from inside it, causing Chen Shang to jump in fright. What's going on? Ji-Ling-er, who was in the midst of learning the arts of change, rushed over and knocked on the stone door and asked loudly. It's nothing. There was a mistake during the process. Chen Shang shouted, "You guys continue, it's all right." After breaking through, it was his first time controlling so much god power. Because he did not control it well, he made a mistake and did not focus his attacks on the sky dragon grass, instead, he focused on hitting the walls of the pill furnace. The sky dragon grass had also disappeared. Mother CKER, my divine power right now is too terrifying. Chen Shang exclaimed in shock, it was only a change of a saint, but it already possessed such power. Fortunately, the pill furnace was tough enough, otherwise the entire cave mansion would have been destroyed by me. You have never fought in actual combat, so you definitely don't know how terrifying your divine power is. If you were to transform into a god wind, even those who have gone through the third cycle of the sacred transformation would have to kneel down. Long Shui laughed tenderly, it is only in this higher realm that you can break through so quickly. If you were in the Nine Heaven World, it would take even longer. This time, Chen Shang controlled his strength well and weakened it by a lot. He gathered it together and then carefully released the sacred flame to burn it. Gathered the invisible powers together and attacked the sky dragon grass. At this moment, the sky dragon grass was already being burned by the blazing sun, and under the bombardment of the god power, it actually dissolved in an instant, separating into a medicinal powder and a medicine aura. This is way too fast. Chen Shang did not expect that in just a few moments, he would have refined the sky dragon grass, and following that, it had already congealed into a pellet. Because it was given to Long Shui to eat, Chen Shang did not divide it into many pellets, but instead directly fused them together to create a pellet of extremely high-quality Tianlong Dan. This Tianlong Dan was a little large, and the other pills were all about the size of a peanut, but the one in Chen Zhang's hand right now was like a pigeon's egg. There were a few lines on it, and the patterns looked like dragons baring their fangs and brandishing their claws. Let's give it a try. Chen Shang placed it into the ring, and laughed. If it's not delicious, I will not refine it, I will just refine the sacred animal Dan. Long Shui gasped in admiration and quickly said, the taste is pretty good, finish refining the remaining sky dragon grass, and then leave some to the Flower Emperor to make a bunch of copies. Chen Shang had stayed here for more than 200 years, and the pace of Nine Heaven World was very fast as well. He did not know what sort of changes would occur after he returned, but he was certain that the Flower Emperor and the others would definitely become stronger. This was because they had come to the sacred region before and knew how weak they were. Because of how special this heavenly dragon grass was, when Chen Shang used the god purification to refine it, his speed was extremely fast. At the moment, he was even trying to use a magic method furnace to refine it, but he was unexpectedly still able to succeed. In order to make use of his own strength when refining the pill, he released even more magic method furnace. In just a few days of time, he had already refined over 100 Tianlong Dan, and what followed after was the sacred animal Dan that he was extremely familiar with, although there were 500 sacred animal fruit, but when he released 20 to 30 of them to be refined at the same time, it would be completed in a short period of time. Chen Shang was concocting pills in the secret room, and it was isolated from the outside world. Long Shui had something to eat and did not sleep, so he would occasionally check on the situation outside. When Chen Shang was about to finish refining the sacred animal Dan, she shouted, a few people have entered this cave, they do not seem to be friendly, quickly go out and take a look, Super Holy School might have discovered Red Cloud and Ling. Chen Shang immediately gave up on the 20 batches of pills he was concocting and walked out of the secret room. There, he saw two familiar-looking old men and an extremely dazzling young man. When Red Cloud and Ling saw them, it was as if they were facing a great enemy. Their faces were full of caution and anger, and with a single glance, they could tell that they were enemies. Aren't those two the elders from Ji Clan? Could that young man be Red Cloud's big senior brother? Seeing him appear, the two elders were immediately overjoyed. This kid is really with you. Haha, I finally found him. A Ji Clan elder laughed crazily. Chen Shang took out a bronze tablet, and said, you guys seem to have barged in, if you don't leave now, I will call you Law Enforcement Saint. Chapter 1542, hearing the words Law Enforcement Saint, the expressions of the three people of Super Holy School slightly changed. Even though they were relatively strong, they were very afraid of Law Enforcement Sacred Masters, but when Chen Shang saw that they did not seem to be very afraid, he immediately became nervous. Do you want to fight here? Ling said coldly. This is the Heaven Sacred District, you had best think about the consequences of being caught by a Law Enforcement Saint. There were three people who had come. One of them was an elder from the Ji Clan, the other was the big senior who used to be Red Dawn, and the other was an old man. The three of them were all very powerful, so Chen Shang did not think that Ling and Red Dawn were their opponents. Get the hell out of my cave abode. Ling frowned, she was also prepared to call the Law Enforcement Saint over. The reason they spent so many holy stones to buy that bronze tablet was so that they wouldn't be harassed inside. HMPH, just you wait. The eldest senior brother thought for a moment. They were also afraid of provoking that Law Enforcement Saint. Just as the three of them turned and walked out of the cave, Chen Shang hurried to catch up. Sensing that Chen Shang was coming closer, the three of them turned around fiercely. They felt a gust of air coming towards them, enveloping them within. This stream of air did not have any offensive power, so the three of them were not too worried, but they wanted to disperse it. Ling, close the door. Chen Shang suddenly sent a sound transmission to Ling, then laughed coldly towards the three of them. He used his divine power to control the air current and sent it into the three people's nostrils. The three of them were all powerful heaven realm beings, and they had already been on guard. The drunk god magical poison that Chen Shang had just released did not all enter into their bodies, but rather, some of it was absorbed by them, while the majority of it was dispersed by them. When she was guarding the mines previously, she knew that Chen Shang had used a strong poison to deal with the 15 people. She immediately closed the stone door, not allowing the three people to run out. Are you all courting death? The elder from the Ji Clan sneered. He had already struck out with his palm towards Chen Shang. At the same time, he released an extremely terrifying heat wave, which seeped into the elder's arm. The elder's sleeves suddenly turned into ashes, and his arms turned completely red, the heat wave continuously emitted from his body. The elder's face flushed red, He did not expect the flames of the red light to be so strong, and the flame that was injected into his arm seemed to want to melt his arm. Jilinger's reaction was extremely fast. Just as she made her move, she arrived beside Chen Shang and used her palm to strike at the old man's abdomen, forcing him to retreat a few steps. At the same time, she pushed Chen Shang backwards, away from the three people. "What do you mean? Aren't you afraid of the law enforcement saints?" The Ji clan elder was furious, but he was secretly shocked. This was because the strength of Hongsha and Jilinger were not as weak as he had imagined. The two of them made a move at the same time, but it did not create any big noise, but the force that they used was not weak at all. The red light was like a powerful flame that was injected into the elder's arm, while Jilinger condensed his holy energy and pierced into the elder's body like a nail. "Very well, since you all dare to attack us, we have underestimated you all. This is exactly what I wanted." The senior brother smiled sinisterly and took out a holy sword, then said to the old man, "Do it, as long as you capture them and quickly leave the Heaven Sacred District, there is no need to be afraid of your law enforcement saint." Chen Shang watched from the back, his heart extremely anxious. He had underestimated the strength of the three people, up till now, and the drunk god magical poison had not acted yet. Although it was only absorbed by them a little, as long as they didn't discover it, the poison would gradually spread. Jilinger and Red Cloud were not weak in the first place. If they were to fight with their lives on the line, even if they couldn't defeat these three people, they shouldn't think of easily taking them down. The first senior brother had forced her two elder sisters to death in the past. Now, she was ready to sacrifice everything to kill this person. "Let's go," Jilinger shouted lightly. At this point of time, both sides had high fighting spirit, and could not care less about being law enforcement saints. Capture them alive. Red Cloud and Chen Shang were both important figures. Red Dawn had Holy Spirit Fire S inside her body, and Chen Shang had Green Dragon Demon Slain Broadsword S. If they could capture them, the three of them would definitely receive a huge reward. However, just as the Super Holy School and the other two were about to attack, their faces suddenly changed. They, who had an imposing manner, actually gave up on attacking, instead fearfully dodging Jilinger and Red Dawn's swift swords. Chen Shang was overjoyed, because the drunk god magical poison that he released had already taken effect. The three of them had already sensed that the poison was being forced by the Holy Spirit Chi in their bodies, but they realized that the poison was like a huge wave, quickly spreading throughout their bodies. After numbing the Holy Spirit Chi in their bodies, they used their Holy Spirit Chi as nourishment, constantly replicating the poison, allowing the poison to spread very quickly. In just a few blinks of an eye, more than half of the holy energy in their bodies had fallen. They glared at Chen Shang and they had already recalled the scene of Chen Shang releasing the terrifying poison on them. After entering the Immortal Becoming realm, Chen Shang used his powerful divine power to control the drunk god magical poison to enter the bodies of the three people. "Little bastard, what did you do to us?" At this time, Jilinger and Red Cloud had already stopped their attacks, because the three of them were just lying there, unable to move. Chen Shang laughed, then walked to their side. "You should not be here, this is your own death, you can't blame people. Do you dare to kill us? If we die, the law enforcement saint will immediately rush over." That Ji clan elder sneered. They still had a sliver of hope in their hearts. Chen Zhang's thigh suddenly flashed with electric threads, and fiercely kicked towards the face of the Ji clan elder, causing a burst of piercing electric light to flash out, and exploded out a burst of muffled sounds, causing the elder's teeth to fly out. "Who said we were going to kill you? Ha ha eh." As Chen Shang laughed, he continued to punch and kick the Ji clan elder, causing the eldest senior brother and the other elderly man's heart to jump in fear. Because they had already seen that the upcoming event might happen to them. At the beginning, Red Cloud was somewhat at a loss, not knowing why those three people would suddenly collapse on the ground. Jilinger explained to her using sound transmission, letting her know Chen Zhang's secret method. After beating the Ji clan elder until his face was bruised black and blue, Chen Shang softened his fist and looked at the senior brother and the old man sinisterly. "Don't worry, just wait for me to rest for a while, you guys can enjoy yourselves." Chapter 1543. Hongsha and Jilinger would not do such a crude thing like beating someone up, but they were enjoying watching Chen Shang beat up those three guys. "What do we do now? We can't kill them or the law enforcement saints will come," Jilinger asked. "One of them is one of Sister Hong's enemies." Chen Shang laughed and took out the divine cauldron. "Put them inside here, bring them out of the Heaven Sacred District, kill them outside, and then destroy the corpses and erase the evidence. What's so difficult about that?" Chen Shang placed the 3 people inside the divine cauldron, looked at the red clouds and asked, "You should go out with me, and you should be the one to handle the matter of revenge. Although you are just a small fry, it can still temporarily relieve your anger." After changing her appearance, she followed Chen Shang and left Heaven's sacred district, returning late into the night. Chen Shang and the 2 girls were discussing in the hall. They were happy that they could kill 3 strong warriors from the super holy school. "I didn't expect them to be able to find this place. Perhaps we were too careless and went to purchase so many medicinal herbs, causing their suspicion," Jilinger said. "Maybe it's because of other reasons, but we can't stay here anymore. These caves aren't safe, and there aren't many enforcers around. If we could go to the central area, they wouldn't dare to break in like they did today," Red Cloud said. "Buying a house there is very expensive, but in order to be safe, we have to stay there as much as possible. As long as the few great powers that are in charge of this Heaven's sacred district do not fall, we are safe here," Jilinger said. Hongsha and Jilinger did not have any backers, and being targeted by such a huge being like the Super Holy School caused them to not dare to casually leave the Heaven Sacred District. "We need to buy a normal small residence in the central area. How many Holy Stones do we need?" Chen Shang asked. "It will cost at least 5 million kilograms of Holy Stone. Although it's very expensive, that place is still beneficial and will be safer. Furthermore, the entire house has many powerful formations and can absorb the large amount of Holy Spirit Chi hidden underneath the Heaven Sacred District," Red Cloud said. "A grade 3 Immortal Yushan Dan is 100 Jin, I have to refine at least 50,000 of them." Chen Shang took a deep breath. "The Biwan Dan is worth 200 kilograms per pellet, but I'm a stranger to it. I'm not sure if there's any value in refining this kind of pellet yet. If he could obtain more than 3 pellets in a single pellet, it would mean that refining Biwan Dan S would be more cost-effective. Wait for a few days for me to refine the Biwan Dan. Then, I can decide how many herbs I want to buy." After Chen Shang finished speaking, he quickly ran into the secret room and continued refining the sacred animal Dan. He had to quickly gather Holy Stone and buy a small house in the central area, otherwise, he would not be able to refine pills in peace here. Also, if there was a place that could absorb the rich Holy Spirit's power, it would be of great help to him in his alchemy and cultivation. After he finished refining all the sacred animal fruit, he started to refine the 3rd grade Immortal Yushan Dan. Previously, he had rich experience in refining the 2nd grade Immortal Yushan Dan. However, he was gradually getting better. After he had succeeded for 100 of batches, he would be able to use the Dawen refining method and refine many batches at the same time in order to speed up the process of refining pills. This secret room was rather small for him, especially when he used the Dawen refining method. After releasing the dozen or 20 magic method furnace, they practically filled the space in this secret room. He also wanted a relatively spacious secret room because he had yet to reach his limit. With the speed of 50 batches per day, he crazily and quickly refined grade 3 Immortal Yushan Dan. In just over 20 days, he had refined all 1,000 Yuling bamboo shoots. In total, there were more than 5,000 grade 3 Immortal Yushan Dan. When Chen Shang was refining pills, Red Cloud and Jilinger would often go out to investigate the channels of some medicinal herbs, making it easier for them to buy more in the future. Although Red Cloud had concealed her identity now, she was proficient in this aspect, so it was easy for her to get on good terms with the big powers who mainly sold medicinal pellets. Chen Shang sat in the living room, drinking a bottle of sweet fruit juice on the table, waiting for the 2 girls to come back. He wanted to give the 5,000 Yushan Dan S to them and have them sell them in exchange for Holy Stone S. Jilinger and Hongsha came back. Seeing that their faces were slightly ugly, he anxiously asked, "What's wrong? What grievances did you have with me?" "HMPH, even if it's not that super holy school, they actually tried to snatch the Yushan Dan's medicinal ingredients from us. They started sweeping through all the Yuling bamboo shoots in the medicine stores again, and the price was very high, almost double the original price." Jilinger's face was filled with displeasure. "If we buy it at the same price, then no one will be willing to sell it to us, because in their eyes, the super holy school is a big customer. Where did they get so many holy stone?" Chen Shang was very suspicious of this. He looked at Red Cloud. In the past, Red Cloud was also responsible for buying Yushan Dan S as well. "I'm not sure either. I just know that these holy stone were all created by that old fellow." Hongsha shook her head. The old fellow that she spoke of was her original senior uncle, the one who wanted to obtain her Holy Spirit fire. He was currently leader. Chen Shang tossed over a storage bag to Red Cloud. These are 5,000 of third-grade immortal ranked Yushan Dan. Ji Linger and Hong Sha were startled, and couldn't help but exclaim, "We refined it so quickly." Chen Shang laughed. "If the place is big, then I will refine it faster. I will then refine the Biwan Dan. I wonder if they will buy a large amount of Biwan Dan." Of course not, because Biwan Dan are more difficult to refine, and even some of the more famous alchemists would often fail. The reason why Super Holy School needs Yushan Dan is so that he can quickly raise a group of outstanding seedlings and quickly strengthen his base. Red Cloud said. Chen Shang asked again, "Are Biwan Dan easy to sell? If you sell them all at once, will it be easy to sell them?" Red Cloud gently smiled and said, "Don't worry, I will help you sell as many pills as you have. Although this kind of pill is not often used, it can help you recover from your injuries." "Alright, I will start refining the Biwan Dan now." Chen Shang had just rested for a short while before returning to the secret room to refine pills. Red Cloud and Ji Linger couldn't help but admire Chen Shang when they saw how hard-working he was every day, and in a short 20 days, he had refined 5,000 Yushan Dan. Besides the cost, he had also earned over 400,000 kilograms of holy stone, which for a person with Chen Zhang's strength, was extremely impressive. Chapter 1544. Chen Shang sat in the secret room, looking at the jasper gourd in his hands. This was the immortal medicine used to refine Biwan Dan. It was called jasper gourd. Back then, after Yan Zilin was injured by the Thunder Dao double venerables, LV Kilian made little Lizzie deliver a bottle of Biwan Dan-s. "Sister Mei Yao, what's so difficult about refining this Biwan Dan? Is it about the foreseeing alchemy?" Chen Shang asked Su Mei Yao. This kind of healing pellet was usually hard to refine. The main reason is that there will be a strong vibration inside the jasper gourd, so when refining it, you have to calculate the defensive power that will be released when the vibration occurs, because that kind of strange vibration can disperse the strong flame. Su Mei Yao said. Chen Shang was not surprised at how high-level herbs were like this. He heard that there was a type of immortal medicine that, after obtaining the spirit qi, could even fly in the air and escape the earth. It could even release its power to attack creatures that wanted to destroy him. And this jasper gourd was one of them. When it was being refined, it would produce a very violent vibration. Chen Shang threw a palm-sized jasper gourd into the Yanlong furnace. He had never refined one, so he did not know how intense the shaking was. He released the 5 elements sacred flame. A 5-colored flame surged within the pill furnace, burning the jasper gourd. He patiently and vigilantly waited for the jasper gourd to tremble. After an hour, Chen Shang suddenly felt that the jasper gourd was shaking slightly. He immediately braced himself, but after that slight shake, the jasper gourd suddenly started shaking violently, and even jumped around inside the Yanlong furnace. This was the first time Chen Shang had encountered such a situation. After being stunned for a moment, he immediately released his divine power to suppress the flying Yanlong furnace, or else the stone room would have been smashed apart. Boom! After the furnace fell to the ground, a violent explosion occurred from the inside of the furnace. The jasper gourd was indeed powerful. He wandered around for a while and then exploded again. Now he understood why the Biwan Dan was so hard to refine. This thing is really naughty. Chen Shang opened the furnace and looked inside. There was no damage inside, which made him sigh in relief. The degree of vibration just now made him worried that the furnace would be damaged. "You must know your limits." Su Mei Yao laughed. "I know, but I will also let him know how powerful I am." Chen Shang took out another jasper gourd, threw it into the furnace, and laughed. "Little thing, I coincidentally learned how to refine Tianlong Dan. I will use the method to deal with that heavenly dragon grass right now to you." When he refined the Tianlong Dan, he condensed a flame and divine power at the same time, and then poured it all into the sky dragon grass, instantly dispersing the spirit inside the sky dragon grass. Furthermore, the flame which he controlled precisely also exploded with an extremely precise heat, and melted away the sky dragon grass. This method was named Divine Flames Flash Technique, and was able to refine high-grade medicinal herbs within a short period of time. However, he had tried using this method in the Yuling bamboo shoots and other medicinal herbs but to no avail. Chen Shang began to condense his spirit energy and flames, preparing to use lightning to finish the jasper gourd off when it was about to explode. If it was really successful, the speed of refining the Biwan Dan would be faster than the Yushan Dan. Even if there were less pills, it would be very worthwhile, not to mention that it was difficult to find the materials to refine the Yushan Dan on the market right now. It's about to begin. When Chen Shang saw the jasper gourd, he trembled for a moment and immediately threw his condensed divine holy fire towards it. Like a strand of hair, it charged into the inside of the jasper gourd and then, like a net, the divine holy fire spread out, disintegrating the jasper gourd from within. Chen Shang held his breath as he looked at the interior of the pill furnace. He did not know the result yet, but he saw that there were cracks of fire on the surface of the jasper gourd. Just when he thought that he had failed, the jasper gourd suddenly exploded. That was the jasper gourd's medicine. He did not think that it would actually succeed, which made him incomparably excited, because he had grasped another powerful pill cultivating method. This was something that he had comprehended from the heavenly alchemy. It seems that it won't even take 2 hours for me to concoct one furnace. Chen Shang was extremely excited. If it was him at this speed, he would very quickly be able to live in the center of the small house. Little monster, you really did not disappoint me. Su Meiyao laughed. Seeing that Chen Shang had refined a jasper gourd in less than an hour, she was shocked, and now she had to see Chen Shang condense a majority of pellets. Very quickly, Chen Shang had fused the medicine aura and medicinal powder into one ball of air. He estimated, and separated the balls, into 4 groups, which meant that he could get 4 pills, which made him very satisfied. Although it was 1 pellet slower than the Yushan Dan, it was much faster than the Yushan Dan. The price of a pellet was 1-fold that of a Yushan Dan, and jasper gourd's price was the same as Yuling bamboo shoots. Just like before, he was first familiar with it. Only after refining hundreds of batches would he be able to use magic method furnace. During this process, he would also fail, and after knowing the reason for his failure, he would be able to avoid it in the future. Only when he was very familiar with the Biwan Dan would he dare to use multiple magic method furnace to refine it, because if he failed, it would cause 20 jasper gourd to tremble, and the entire mountain would probably shake. He stayed in the secret room for a day and refined a total of 10 batches. He was very satisfied with the quality of the Biwan Dan and the number of pills produced. Jilinger and Red Cloud who went to sell Yushan Dan had already returned. Looking at their smiling faces, Chen Shang knew that everything was going smoothly. They were all sold. Chen Shang laughed. It's rare to see you smiling so sweetly. Did you guys eat a lot secretly? Jilinger laughed as she walked to his side, gently massaging his back. How can that be? We were just selling it at a pretty good price. Because Super Holy School bought a large number of Yuling bamboo shoots, the overall price of the Yushan Dan was raised a little, allowing us to earn an extra 50,000 kilograms of holy stone, and we even managed to get a good relationship with one of the 5 great pill stores in Heaven's Sacred District. Chen Shang curled his lips and said, to earn an extra 50,000 kilograms of holy stone, and to let you guys be so happy, you truly have no future. Hong Sha laughed charmingly, came to Chen Zhang's side, and laughed. Our boss Shen, how much do you think we should earn in order to be happy? Chapter 1545. Chen Shang could quickly refine Biwan Dan, and if nothing unexpected happened, he could quickly refine Biwan Dan to earn a large amount of holy stone. There are a total of 40 Biwan Dan. Chen Shang passed the Biwan Dan he refined to the 2 girls, and laughed. Now you two can go and purchase the Biwan Dan's medicinal ingredients, buy as many as you can. I am going to crazily refine the Biwan Dan right now. Seeing how confident Chen Shang was, Red Cloud and Jilinger knew that Chen Shang had already captured the Biwan Dan and was refining it very smoothly. They had already started to calculate that they needed to refine a majority of the pellets in order to buy a house in the central area. If there are a lot of Biwan Dan, can they be sold at once? Chen Shang asked. He was more worried about the sales. Seeing the high quality of those Biwan Dan, they were definitely rare in the market. She patted her chest and said, no problem, we are really big today. Just with this super old sacred city alone, we can consume a large amount of Biwan Dan. Not to mention selling it elsewhere, you don't have to worry about this. We are going to purchase the Biwan Dan's herbs now. You still have a lot left, you should start refining them first. Maybe we will have to quietly leave the super old sacred city to go somewhere else to purchase them. Jilinger laughed. She had already seen that it wouldn't be long before she would have holy stones that she couldn't spend. Hong Sha and Jilinger, who had just returned back to their room, only rested for a moment before leaving in a hurry. Chen Shang could refine a batch of these Biwan Dan in 2 hours, and after he mastered it, he would be able to use many magic method furnace. At that time the refining speed would increase by 10 or 20 times. As long as he could endure the loneliness, he would be able to finish refining all of them. He still had 1,000 jasper gourd on him, which was more than enough for him to refine for a period of time. After refining this batch, he would be able to exchange for quite a few holy stone, which was definitely much easier than digging for the holy stone's veins. What worried him the most was that if he sold so many pills in the future, it would definitely arouse suspicion from others and might even harm the interests of some of the big powers. At that time, it would be very troublesome for him, Jilinger and the others, so he decided to wait until he settled down in the center area and find a strong backer. After 2 days of refining, he had already become very stable. He was able to refine 10 batches of Biwan Dan, and 4 pellets would be produced each day. If nothing unexpected happened in the future, he would not fail too many times. I can't hold it in anymore, let's try out the magic method furnace. Fortunately, he managed to control it and only allowed 2 batches to be destroyed. The losses weren't too big, and at the same time, he grasped the difficulty of refining with multiple magic method furnaces. 7 days passed and Chen Shang walked out of the secret room. When Red Cloud and Jilinger saw that he had come out, they immediately took out some juice to dispel their fatigue and handed it over. They were very considerate. I'm going to take a bath first. Chen Shang stretched his back. He had been concocting pills for 7 days straight and his body smelled like sweat. The bathtub was in Red Dawn and Jilinger's room, they had long prepared that kind of sacred spring water. After Chen Shang jumped in, he gasped in admiration, and the fatigue on his body gradually dispersed. How many jasper gourd have you bought? When Chen Shang saw their coquettish smiles and their light clothing, his heart shook and he really wanted to drag them into the water. 20,000. How many days do you think it'll take for you to complete it? Jilinger sat at the side of the bath, immersing her snow-white calves and tender jade feet in the water, and continued to shake those flowery white calves beside Chen Shang. The skirt on her thighs had already been rolled up, tightly holding onto the middle of her big white legs, making people want to see it. It was extremely alluring. The most frightening thing was that, like Jilinger, Red Cloud also rolled up her skirt and revealed her long, white, jade-like legs. She soaked in the water and kicked the water in order to play with it. Chen Shang was soaking in the bath while leaning on the side. Both of his arms were spread out to the side of the pool, and 2 beautiful holy maidens sat on both sides of him. Hey, what are you thinking about? I'm asking you a question, are you able to handle 20,000 jasper gourd? Jilinger's charming eyes flashed as she giggled. It's definitely not a problem to take care of 20,000 jasper gourd, but it's a little difficult to take care of 2 holy maiden. Chen Shang laughed wickedly as he placed his hands on Jilinger's and Red Cloud's white thighs and began to massage them. The 2 ladies spat and removed his evil hands. Their faces were red, but they did not feel disgusted. Little scoundrel, she had long known that Chen Shang was not an honest guy, but she had also thought that it was normal since Chen Shang was a man after all. Chen Shang looked wronged. You guys are the bad ones. You seduce me in broad daylight and even watch me take a bath. When you take a bath, you definitely won't let me see it like this. Jilinger understood Chen Shang better, and she knew a lot about Chen Shang from him, especially some of the more gossipy things, such as Chen Zhang's emotional problems. She knew that there were a lot of outstanding women around Chen Shang, but Chen Shang only had 3 of them. Forget about 9 Heaven World, even if Chen Shang had that kind of abnormal pill refining ability, just by relying on a large power alone, it would be normal for him to have a few outstanding holy maiden, because Chen Zhang's speed of earning holy stone was too fast, so who wouldn't want to own such a treasure? Right now, Jilinger and Hong Sha couldn't bear to leave Chen Shang, and Chen Shang was very good to them both. Although his strength was much weaker than theirs, his ability to earn holy stone was much stronger than theirs. I remember you saying before that there will be forces plotting to enter the 9 Heaven World this day, right? Chen Shang asked. This is only a legend, but I think that it should be true. The 9 Heaven World is growing up too fast, and will eventually threaten this place, so they plan to suppress the 9 Heaven World before he grows up. Jilinger said. Super Holy School might have the same idea. Although 9 Heaven World is not as advanced as this place, he still has other rich resources. Otherwise, there would not be a place where he could nurture powers that could threaten this place. Hong Sha leaned close to Chen Shang and gently pinched his thick shoulders. Chen Shang gently rubbed Hong Chi's greasy leg, and then slowly moved it to his thigh. Hong Sha only snorted lightly. On the other side, Jilinger was also not spared. She was only worried that Su Meiya would be jealous, so she did not take Chen Zhang's hand away. Chen Shang rubbed the 2 saints and said, I will leave this place, but before I leave, we will arrange for you to cultivate here with sufficient resources. Maybe in the future, you will attack Nine Heaven World, and I will need you to protect me. When are you leaving? Jilinger was a little reluctant. She moved her jade hand to Chen Zhang's chest and gently rubbed it. Chapter 1546. Of course, the faster the better, because I have urgent matters at Nine Heaven World. But before I leave, I need to get a large number of holy stones so that you all don't have to worry about the holy stone and the medicinal pellets. Chen Shang leaned his head against her chest. The relationship between Chen Shang and her was merely that of a friend, but they had acted this way for her sake, causing her to be moved. They had lost the support of a powerful force, so it would be difficult for them to live a peaceful life in the super old sacred city in the future. Chen Shang immersed himself in the god's spring for an hour, looking as energetic as if he had slept for a whole day. These are Biwan Dan, there should be around 4,000 of them. I have already completed the previous 1,000. Chen Shang took out a storage bag. If it was in the past, Jilinger and Red Cloud would definitely have been shocked, because Chen Shang was actually able to refine this Biwan Dan that was extremely difficult to refine faster than the Yushan Dan. Jilinger and Red Dawn handed over the 20,000 jasper gourd that they had bought to Chen Shang. Chen Shang couldn't help but to admire Red Dawn's ability, to be able to get her in such a short time, and at a very low price at that. Chen Shang never asked about Holy Stone S, he himself owed Jilinger 2 million, but Jilinger didn't bring it up much anyway. She knew that the benefits Chen Shang brought her wasn't just 200 kilograms. After the two girls left, Chen Shang returned to the secret room. The reason he was trying so hard to refine pills was also because he wanted to find an opportunity to meet the pill saint here. If they could come to an agreement, Su Meiyao and Bai Yuyu could quickly recover. Ever since the Super Holy School's people had come to find them, Jilinger and Red Cloud became even more cautious when they went out. Although they cooperated with some of the big powers, those big powers no longer knew where they lived, so this small cave was no longer disturbed. Meanwhile, the Super Holy School continued to search for Jilinger and Red Cloud. They seemed to already know that the two holy daughters were together, and Red Dawn and Chen Shang who possessed the green dragon demon slain broadsword were priceless treasures in the eyes of the Super Holy School. If they did not go out to buy and sell pills, Red Cloud and Jilinger would rarely go out and stay in the cave to cultivate. Every time Chen Shang came out, it meant that they had something to do, and could quickly obtain a large amount of holy stone. Although her cultivation did not increase, she was able to unleash a lot of the power that was hidden in her body. Especially regarding the use of the Holy Spirit fire, she knew very clearly that the cultivation method of the fire god method could not be measured using the holy stone, and in her heart, she was extremely grateful to Chen Shang. The change techniques that Jilinger trained in had made quite a bit of a breakthrough as well. It was able to make her into a variety of people, as well as a few small and medium-sized beasts. They were both cultivating in the same secret room and could see each other's progress. It's been almost 4 months. It's been a long time since I last saw that little scoundrel. I miss him very much in my heart. Jilinger squatted by the side of the pool, and softly muttered while caressing the holy spring that was prepared for Chen Shang. Linger's heart is moved. After the Red Clouds heard this, they smiled coquettishly and said. Jilinger rolled his eyes at her, then asked, Sister Hong, if he can refine a holy pellet like this in the future, wouldn't that be extremely terrifying? Of course, but the holy level S are a problem. It's only a matter of time before he becomes a pill saint. Hong Sha nodded. I never thought that we would be able to be friends with a pill saint. When that group of old guys from Ji Clan find out, they will definitely regret it until they die. Jilinger laughed. Red Clouds came to her side, pinching her face as she smiled. If his strength is sufficient, wouldn't you be pledging your life to him? Jilinger stuck out his tongue, and asked, what if it was you? Red Cloud did not answer and the two girls stayed silent for a while. At this time, Chen Zhang's laughter rang out. What are you guys talking about? I think I heard that our two holy maiden beauties have taken a fancy to that family's young man. When Chen Shang came out of the secret room, he went straight here. Along the way, he took off his clothes, and then walked into the bathing pool naked. Red Cloud and Jilinger heard their conversation earlier from Chen Zhang's ears. She blushed a little and wanted to leave, but Chen Shang released 2 water vines and wrapped it around their waists, pulling them into the bath. The two girls started to cry out. I've been concocting pills for so long that I'm going to die of boredom. You all still don't intend to talk to me, you can't be so cruel. Chen Shang smiled as he looked at their wet bodies. After the light dresses were soaked, it stuck closely to their jade bodies, outlining their beautiful and alluring bodies. Adding on to that wet long hair, it made Chen Shang smile even more ruthlessly. Damn scoundrel, who knew that her waist was already being embraced by Chen Shang, and the same went for Red Cloud. What made them the most embarrassed was that Chen Zhang's bad hand was extremely agile as he swam towards their chests, invading their sacred snowy peaks. Instantly, in the pool, Chen Shang, who was naked, was playing with two holy maiden in thin clothes. When the sounds of clothes tearing came out, the girl's delicate shout and her endless spring color filled the entire room. After having fun in the bathtub, Chen Shang also took advantage of the two girls. Hong Sha and Jilinger could only nag him. They did not dare to use their terrifying holy power to fight him, and were worried that they would hurt him. In the hall, it was already easy for the two girls. They knew that Chen Shang had refined a large batch of Biwan Dan-S after concocting pills for such a long time, and might even have finished refining the 20,000 Jasper Gourd-S. They were going to sell the Biwan Dan-S now. I'll go with you guys this time and pack up as well. We might not be coming back. Chen Shang laughed. You really finished refining the Jasper Gourd? Jilinger was slightly excited. If that's really the case, then the business we need to do now will be very big, and we will have a large number of holy stone. The same was true for the Red Clouds. It was hard to conceal the excitement in their hearts. Chen Shang was actually very calm, because in his eyes, these kind of holy stone were definitely not enough. There are a total of 80,000 pills. I can produce 4 in a single furnace. Chen Shang passed over 2 storage bags to the two of them. Inside the bottles, there were Biwan Dan-S inside, so even if they had to count, it would still take a while. Even Red Dawn and Jilinger, who were already mentally prepared, couldn't help but be dumbstruck at this moment. If it were Holy Stone S, then it would be over 5 million kilograms. Calm down, have you decided who you want to sell to? Chen Shang laughed. According to the 200 Jin Holy Stone S, I should be able to get 16 million Jin of Holy Stone S. When the time comes, I will use 6 million Jin to buy a decent house and buy more 4th-grade immortal medicine. Red Cloud took a deep breath and said, don't worry, we have a good idea of what kind of house you want to buy. Right now you want to sell those Biwan Dan, there shouldn't be any problems. If that big force could store so many Biwan Dan, we can't even be happy about it. Chen Shang changed his appearance and asked, have you found any news about the Pill Saint? Jilinger shook his head. We can't find anything. Only the leaders of the super big powers will know some clues, but it's difficult for us to get hold of them right now. Chen Shang said as his brows furrowed. He wouldn't even bother to pay attention to selling those 80,000 Biwan Dan. The Red Cloud said, to value is to value, but to not appear, because the Biwan Dan is of no help to himself, just leave it to the elders. What is the name of the power that you have been working with for a long time? Chen Shang followed the two girls out of the cave. He planned to meet the big shots of the big powers. Divine Feather School is not a match for him. He is one of the 5 great forces of the Heaven Sacred District. Usually, we can only see a few elders, and even if it's an elder of the Divine Feather School, it would be very difficult to see their face. Red Cloud said. Chen Shang thought for a while, I will find a way to meet him. He felt that the leader of this Divine Feather School should be those people with the same strength as the 9 Heaven World in the past. Jilinger understood that Chen Shang wanted to see the Pill Saint because of Su Meiyao and Bai Yuyu. She was very clear about the relationship between Chen Shang and the two of them, and she did not doubt what Chen Shang had said. There was a large mountain range there, and huge stone towers that pierced through the clouds stood up. Divine Feather School was one of the 5 big powers of the Sky Capital, and had a very solid foundation. There were many places in the Sky City where they could mine their holy stone. They could do all kinds of business there. Chen Shang and the two girls were on the top floor of a stone tower in the Heaven Sacred District. From there, they could see the huge stone tower in the distance, which was the domain of the Divine Feather School. The 3 of you, because there are some matters that need to be taken care of within the sect, I've made you all wait. I'm very sorry. An old man with kind eyes suddenly appeared behind Chen Shang and the others, and asked with a smile. This old man was an elder of the Divine Feather School. He was mainly in charge of managing business. His name was Luo Qi. Elder Luo, it's all right. This time, we brought a lot of Biwan Dan. I wonder if you guys can buy them all. Hong Sha smiled apologetically. Luo Qi looked at Chen Shang, and did not immediately discuss the deal, but asked, is this your alchemist? That doesn't look like it, but for him to be able to follow you, I think it should be him, as expected of someone who cannot be judged by his appearance. Elder Luo, if we can come to a conclusion this time, I still have a small transaction. I think your leader might be interested. Chen Shang laughed heartily, giving people a feeling that he was unfathomable. He said that he had nothing to do with the matters of this world. If you can get him out of the mountain by locking yourself up all day, it would be a good thing for our Divine Feather School. Ling Chen. The meaning behind his words was to tell Chen Shang that only some extremely extraordinary things would be able to cause their leader to be interested. Chapter 1547. Chen Shang was very confident in the items in his hands and felt that it would be very easy to meet the leader. He smiled at Luo Qi, then looked at Red Cloud and Jiling indicating that they could sell those Biwan Dan. Elder Luo, you should remember that we mentioned before that we would bring a batch of Biwan Dan later. Red Dawn took out a storage bag. Luo Qi nodded his head. I heard that you all bought a large amount of Biwan Dan's medicinal herbs, and didn't expect you guys to find a group of outstanding alchemists to refine the pills to sell. This is indeed a good way to earn holy stone, only the profits are not high. Hong Sha gave a sweet smile and passed the storage bag to Luo Qi. I wonder if you can buy them all. Both Jiling and Red Cloud knew that their profits were shockingly high because from beginning to end, Chen Shang was the only one who refined the pellet, and the amount of pellets produced and the refining speed was extremely terrifying as well. After Luo Qi received the storage bag, he saw that there were 80 big jade boxes inside. He took out one and placed it on the ground. Although he had not opened the big box, he was surprised at the number of Biwan Dan inside. The moment he opened the lid, a piercing green light shot out. The thousands of Biwan Dan inside were like many jade beads that were emitting light. Last time, Red Cloud and Jiling had brought over 1,000 Biwan Dan, but there were still many big boxes like these inside the storage bag. There are 1,000 pills in each box, a total of 80,000 pills. Jiling smiled slightly. Elder Luo, please take a careful count. If your Divine Feather School wants to eat these 80,000 Biwan Dan, it shouldn't be a problem, right? Luo Qi took out the 80 big boxes, counted them one by one, and then exclaimed, of course we can eat them, it's just that we haven't seen such a big deal in a long time. Your alchemist is really outstanding, able to refine a batch of high-quality Biwan Dan in such a short period of time. You guys wait here, I'll go get some holy stone. I don't have that many on me, the price should be the same as last time. Yes, 200 kilograms of holy stone. Red Cloud nodded. After Luo Qi left, Hong Sha and Jiling hearts became a lot more at ease. Previously, they were still a little worried that Luo Qi wouldn't take so much in one go. After half an hour, Luo Qi returned with a set of storage bags. Inside, there was a huge pile of 16 million Jin holy stones, which Hong Sha and Jiling were responsible for counting. We will continue to cooperate in the future. Laughed. Biwan Dan were a type of rare pill. To be able to stock up a batch, it was definitely not a loss. Furthermore, the quality of these pills were all very high. Elder Luo, if I have a type of holy level medicinal ingredient, can I directly talk to your Divine Feather School? Chen Shang suddenly asked. Holy level medicine ingredients, no matter where they were extremely expensive and rare. Even if they were useless to him, if there was a chance, he would try his best to seize them. You're willing to give it to me? Luo Qi was a little shocked. He could already tell that Chen Shang seemed to have something urgent when he saw their leader. If he can help me with something, I can give it to him as a gift. In order to make Luo Qi believe it, Chen Shang had taken out a blood linglong fruit. Luo Qi had managed such a large industry in the Divine Feather School, he would definitely be able to recognize this blood linglong fruit. This was a holy healing fruit, able to strengthen the blood in one's body. Jiling and Hong Sha were both shocked as they looked at the red crystal-like round pearl in Chen Zhang's hand. Hong Sha exclaimed, it's a blood linglong fruit, this is a holy fruit. Luo Qi took a deep breath and said, follow me, I will bring you to see leader. Chen Shang sent a sound transmission to Jiling and Red Cloud, telling them to settle the matters regarding the house, and then reunited here. The 16 million strong holy stone were all placed in their hands, transferred by them, allowing them to purchase even more medicinal ingredients, which were of the 4th grade of Immortal grade. Luo Qi brought Chen Shang into a teleportation room of the Divine Feathers Tower. Through the transmission array, they teleported to a place that seemed to be the belly of the mountain. Chen Shang thought that the Divine Feather School's leader would be inside those tall and big stone towers, but he never thought that it would be inside a cave. The construction of this place was very rough, as if the inside of a mountain was hollowed out, and then a few caves were dug out from the uneven stone walls. Wait here, I'll go talk to leader. Luo Qi walked quickly towards a cave, leaving Chen Shang standing alone in the middle of the cave. After a long while, Luo Qi finally came out with a nod of his head. You can go in now, our leader wants to talk to you. Chen Shang politely smiled at him, then walked into the cave. In his eyes, the leader should be a being at the same level as the 9 emperors and 5 venerables, but the place he lived in was so simple and crude. Kept walking forward even after entering the dark mountain cave. He still could not feel the aura of a strong practitioner even here, so it would be quite difficult for a strong individual to conceal the powerful strength within his body. At the end of the cave, there was a spacious and bright stone room. Judging from the decorations, it should be a living room with a few chairs. Beside a simple and crude stone table, there was a middle-aged woman in a plain white dress. Although she was not beautiful, she did not have any noble temperament, just like an ordinary woman in a village. Her skin was not very good, some were rough, and there were fishtails at the corners of her eyes. He was a very ordinary person, the only thing he gave others was that she looked very comfortable. When she saw Chen Shang, she even smiled, it was a very kind and gentle smile. Please take a seat. You're welcome. The middle-aged woman politely made a gesture. Her voice was somewhat hoarse, and her voice was also somewhat hoarse. It was as if she had not spoken for a very long time. Chen Shang was secretly surprised, he never thought that leader of the Divine Feather School would actually be a woman, and how ordinary it looked. Brat Chen Shang, greeting senior. Chen Shang immediately bowed, he was sure that the woman in front of him possessed power as terrifying as that of the 9 emperors and 5 venerables, because when he saw the white tiger back then, he had the same feeling. Sit, don't call me senior, my name is Feng Yuji, you tell me to call me Aunt Feng. After Feng Yuji invited Chen Shang to sit, he poured a cup of clear water for him. Chen Shang could not understand why would lead such a life. Aunt Feng, I have a very important matter that requires your help. Chen Shang got straight to the point. I heard from Luo Qi that you guys are selling us with a lot of immortal pills, and that you even have blood linglong fruits. Feng Yuji slightly smiled and also sat down, looking at Chen Shang seriously. Chen Shang nodded, Aunt Feng, can you Feng Yuji interrupted him and smiled, you must be from the 9 heaven world. Chapter 1548, yes. Chen Shang replied, can you tell me how that world is faring now? I'm quite curious, the 9 heaven world should not be able to recover so quickly, but you can refine 80,000 Biwan Dan in such a short period of time. A genius like you might not even be able to compare to the sacred Dan Emperor in the past. Feng Yuji's face was full of curiosity, waiting for Chen Zhang's reply. Chen Shang had long suspected that the strong warriors here had interacted with the people of the 9 emperors and 5 venerables before. As for 9 heaven world, I have been here for more than 200 years, and the change there is very fast now. Furthermore, DTN is gradually recovering, and the Fire Emperor back then was still half crippled. As for the rest of the 9 emperors and 5 venerables, they have not been found yet, as for me, I am an exception. Chen Shang laughed. As a leader of a Divine Feather School, it was a very normal thing for Feng Yuji to be able to tell with a glance that those 80,000 Biwan Dan were made by a single person. Feng Yuji chuckled. Little guy, you're not being honest at all, you're not only successful in creating medicinal pellets. Chen Shang laughed foolishly. Aunt Feng, don't tell me that this brat still has some good points, can you tell me? After stepping into the immortal becoming realm, Chen Zhang's Dantian had already merged with the divine sense C, so he felt that if he were to conceal himself, he would be like an ordinary person. Your Dantian is gone, but you deliberately used some energy to send out your aura to confuse others. If I'm not mistaken, you were previously a divine cultivator, and after entering the sacred transformation, your Dantian fused with your divine sense C, which is why this situation occurred. Feng Yuji smiled gently and told her that Chen Shang was a divine cultivator. Chen Shang laughed and said, so that's also considered good. Feng Yuji lightly snorted. Since you have a request for me, then you should be more obedient. Chen Shang restrained his smile and said seriously, all right, since my strength is so much weaker than yours, I will answer honestly. In your eyes, I am just a little lamb that you can kill. How did you come here from the 9 heaven world? Feng Yuji asked. I am. Feng Yuji saw Chen Zhang's expression fluctuate, and rolled his eyes at him. Don't lie. Chen Shang sighed. Inside the 9 heaven world, I entered a deep underground cave and a teleportation station. I used the green dragon demon slain broadsword to open a teleportation portal, and arrived here, and then encountered some powerful holy beasts outside. I was lucky enough to escape, and in the end I escaped to a holy stone mine. I was caught by the guards at the mine, but with my help, I managed to acquire 3 million kilograms of holy stone and hid here to refine pills and earn the holy stone. Feng Yuji was not surprised at all, and laughed. A little kid that can get the green dragon demon slain broadsword is indeed not simple, it can be done over and over again. Aunt Feng, I heard that a few of the great powers here want to attack Nine Heaven World and suppress its growth. Through this, we can guarantee that this absolute monarch sanctuary will not be invaded. Chen Shang asked. He was more worried about this. But you guys don't have to worry, the Nine Heaven World won't be defeated easily, right? Feng Yuji smiled blandly. What are you worried about? You are afraid that others will steal your green dragon demon slain broadsword. Anyone who knows a little about them will know that this blade is for themselves a master. It's useless even if it is isolated from your body. Chen Shang was afraid that after DTN reappeared, the evil dragon graveyard that protected the dragon vein would be destroyed. Will you come out to fight when the time comes? Chen Shang asked again. Of course I won't, but since my divine feather school knows how to, I will just stand to the side and watch. Feng Yuji said with a mischievous smile. Cripples of the 9 emperors and 5 venerables, dead or dead, missing or missing, when the time comes, you will have defeated them. Chen Shang muttered. Do you really think that only the absolute monarch sanctuary will take action? When the other heavenly regions appear, they will only treat the 9 Heaven World as a battlefield and will only indirectly fight with it. Feng Yuji said. Chen Shang said in a bad mood. You came to our 9 Heaven World to fight, it's not good. Back then, this was how the 9 emperors and 5 venerables was destroyed, wasn't it? Back then, it was due to the existence of someone like 10 Heaven's Supreme Lord. As a result, none of the experts in the other heavenly realms were able to divide up the 9 Heaven World, causing them to suffer a great loss in terms of vitality. The 10 Heaven's Supreme Lord had also paid a very painful price, and DTN, as the main battlefield, had even shattered and turned into many small worlds. The look in Feng Yuji's eyes suddenly became very distant, as if he was recalling what happened back then. Now, it seems like that kind of thing is going to happen again. Chen Shang said. Aunt Feng, I have satisfied your curiosity, now we can talk business. Once it is settled, I will give you the blood linglong fruit. Feng Yuji stretched out his hand and said, show me the blood exquisite fruit. Chen Shang could only take it out. He was a little worried that Feng Yuji would not return it to him, so he held it in his hand and looked at it carefully. It was so easy to play around with, but it looked like he did not want to return it. Seeing Chen Zhang's pained expression, Feng Yuji giggled. You said it's for me, but it's mine now. Chen Zhang's heart skipped a beat, and he anxiously laughed dryly. Aunt Feng, you still don't know what kind of help I need you to help me with. Tell me, I don't think it will be too hard. I should be able to do it. Feng Yuji was very confident in herself, so she kept the blood linglong fruit. Help me find a pill saint. I want to concoct a sacred pill. I'll pay for the ingredients myself, so I'll give him a decent reward. Chen Shang said directly. For Aunt Feng, this shouldn't be too difficult. Hearing Chen Zhang's words, Feng Yuji frowned and sighed. I'm afraid that's a little difficult. There's a pill saint in this capital, but I don't even know them, so it's very difficult to find them for you. I'm really sorry that I can't help you. Chen Shang was startled for a moment, but inwardly he sighed. His expression did not look good. He looked at Feng Yuji, and stopped speaking. Seeing him like this, Feng Yuji couldn't help but laugh. I won't tease you, I'm just a pill saint. Although I can't find other pill masters for you, I can still help you concoct pills. Feng Yuji chuckled. No matter how he looked at it, she didn't seem like a middle-aged woman, but instead a mischievous little girl who played with the dead without paying with her life. Chen Shang cursed in his heart, then smiled. Aunt Feng, you're still a child. Feng Yuji's smile became even happier, causing Chen Shang to secretly look down on her. As the leader, she didn't have the slightest bit of an appearance as a leader, causing him to worry for quite a while. Even now, he still couldn't believe that Feng Yuji was a pill saint. Chapter 1549, Aunt Feng, are you really a pill saint? No matter how I look at it, it doesn't seem like it. In my impression, you should be that white-haired old man. Chen Zhang's face was full of doubt, causing Feng Yuji to scowl and glare at you like a little girl who had lost her temper, causing Chen Shang to immediately break out in a cold sweat. Seeing that Chen Shang was scared to death, She started to laugh coquettishly, making Chen Shang have the urge to smash his head into a wall. This kind of old woman being mischievous was much harder to deal with than those little girls. Don't tell me that you want me to concoct a batch of holy elixir for you to see. You have to wait and see as well. Feng Yuji said as he took out a silver-white pill furnace. This is my pill furnace, you are also a pill refiner, you should know that this is not an ordinary one. Chen Shang looked at it and laughed. Forgive me for being stupid, but I really can't see any good points. Feng Yuji patted Chen Zhang's head. This is the best pill furnace in the Sky City, it's called the Holy Spirit Treasure Furnace, and there are a few Saint Fire Souls inside. What kind of holy elixir do you want to refine? You don't have the materials, but with your current strength, if you just eat the holy elixir, you might be able to find some other materials. Feng Yuji pinched Chen Zhang's arm, and a surge of divine power continuously entered Chen Zhang's body. And it's even a golden bone, man. Quote. Seeing Chen Zhang's discontent face, Feng Yuji laughed. I just want to see if you can handle the holy pellet. This is for your safety, take out your holy level medicinal ingredients. Feng Yuji gave Chen Shang an unreliable feeling, but now he had no choice. Although Feng Yuji was very mischievous, she was indeed a genuine strong of Lord Stage, and Chen Shang could only choose to believe in her. She was a little mischievous, but she was good. I'm not concocting for myself, I'm just helping people heal. Their Dantian is gone, so I need a sacred pill to recover. Chen Shang immediately explained. Oh, Feng Yuji's eyes turned as he said in shock. There is only one type of this pill, and it is even a recipe that Dan Emperor came up with. I think it's called the Saint Revitalizing Pellet. That's right, the Saint Revitalizing Pellet. Su Meiyao sent a sound transmission to Chen Shang, but it attracted Feng Yuji's attention. She immediately poked Chen Zhang's body, making him cry out loud. Brat, is there anyone hiding on you? Quickly release them, there shouldn't be an old ghost hidden, right? Feng Yuji seemed to be angry, her jade-like hands quickly touched Chen Zhang's body. Su Meiyao replied, it's all right, tell senior sister and I to go out and explain it to her. There aren't many people who know about the holy recovery pill, she should be a pill saint. Chen Shang shouted to stop the mischievous Feng Yuji. Aunt Feng, wait a moment, I'll let them out right now, you better not bully them. Give them back, it seems there are quite a few of them. Feng Yuji softly snorted. Su Meiyao and Bai Yuyu immediately came out of the ring and bowed towards Feng Yuji. Su Meiyao, Bai Yuyu said Aunt Feng. Seeing that two beautiful girls had suddenly appeared, Feng Yuji's expression became a lot more gentle. He looked at Chen Shang and snorted, so it's because there are two beautiful girls hidden. It was just as Chen Shang had said. His Dantian had been heavily injured, and only by using the holy recovery pill would he be able to recover. Afterwards, the clever Su Meiyao told them about how they met Chen Shang after getting injured, and that they had been waiting for this moment for a long time. The fact that Chen Shang had gathered all of the ingredients needed to refine the Saint Revitalizing Pellet also surprised Feng Yuji. Fine, but concocting the holy elixir will take a long time. You might not be able to wait for this time, and it's two of them at that. Feng Yuji looked at Chen Shang and said, leave them here, go busy yourself with your own things. I will teach them while I refine pills. Chen Shang was a little reluctant. Su Meiyao and Bai Yuyu were two women that he liked a lot. He felt empty inside as he was suddenly forced to leave him for a period of time. How about this, I'll take them in as my foster daughters. You should be able to relax now, right? Feng Yuji laughed, his smile was filled with mischief. Chen Shang had a bad premonition. If this happened, when he was with the two girls in the future, Aunt Feng would definitely make things difficult for him, but Su Meiyao and Bai Yuyu seemed to be very happy. Chen Shang did not understand why these women would suddenly have such good feelings when they just met. Meiyao pays his respect to mother. Mother. Bai Yuyu smiled sweetly, and then looked at Chen Shang with a mischievous gaze. Chen Shang was a little dumbstruck. All of these things happened too fast and suddenly, as if they met a mischievous old woman. Then, this old woman became Su Meiyao's and Bai Yuyu's mother once more. Alright, Aunt Feng, I'll let you raise the two of them from now on. You can also protect them, I feel a lot more at ease. Chen Shang sincerely said. Of course, take out those medicinal ingredients. Feng Yuji laughed. I like these two daughters, from now on their matters are all under my control, I am already this age, and have never been a mother. Chen Shang curled his lips, took out 4 batches of holy level ingredients used to refine the Saint Revitalizing Pellet, and said, There are 4 of them in total, 3 of them want you to refine them into a saint revitalizing pellet, and the other one is to give you your seed compensation. Although they are already daughters, it is reasonable to say that you can save on the compensation, but they have helped me, and in the future, I will have to let you take care of them, so this is my way of being filial. If it was a strong ranker who was the same strength as her, suddenly taking out so many holy level herbs, she would feel that it was more normal. But a little brat like Chen Shang had so many holy level herbs, it made her suddenly think of something. This is all produced by the alive slain method. Feng Yuji took it and looked at it, then asked. Not exactly, but more or less. But I really need time and energy to do it. Chen Shang looked at Su Meiyao and his sister, and gave them a complicated look. Bai Yuyu walked next to Chen Shang, tightly embraced him for a bit, and even kissed his cheeks. If you can't wait, you should go back to the 9-heaven world first. At that time, I'll definitely come find you, and at that time, we won't be your burden. You have never been my burden. You are my spiritual support. Chen Shang gazed at Bai Yuyu deeply. Su Meiyao also walked over and hugged Chen Shang for a bit before snorting, little scoundrel, now that we're not with you, you'd better not be fooling around with flowers and grass. At this time, Feng Yuji looked at him with a smile that was not a smile, as if he had already seen through his unruly heart. Then he smiled. You will still be staying here for a while, you just need to rely on your pill refining skills to get some holy stone and then go back. You can sell them all to my divine feather school. And Feng, your alchemy skills should be very high. When you refine the saint restoration pills, can you refine a few of them in one go? Su Meiyao had already left his embrace and was standing together with Bai Yuyu. They seemed to have already figured out that Chen Shang had other intentions. How is that possible? Even the Saint Dan Emperor wouldn't be able to do it, let alone me. Feng Yuji shook his head. Even if you want to save medicinal herbs, you can't. Chen Shang laughed. I refined 80,000 Biwan Dan, do you know how many of them I used? Although I can only refine 3rd stage immortal grade Biwan Dan and Yushan Dan, it would be better if we competed in, and met a rare pill saint. Chapter 1550. When Feng Yuji heard that she wanted to compete with the pill saint in pill refining, she raised her head and laughed out loud. She knew that Chen Shang was good at pill refining, but he had not reached the level where he could challenge her. Su Meiyao and Bai Yuyu did not think that way. They understood Chen Shang very well. If Chen Shang was only competing to refine a level 3 immortal pill, they felt that Chen Shang had a better chance of winning. On one hand, Chen Shang wanted to see the pill refining level of this Feng Yuji. Even until now, he still couldn't believe that this Feng Yuji was a pill saint. Chen Shang saw Feng Yuji's scornful and wild laughter, but he was not angry, and asked while smiling lightly, you look down on me. Feng Yuji retracted his smile and said, it's not that I'm looking down on you. You're still quite good at refining those Biwan Dan, but you're still too inexperienced to challenge me. It's just a competition to refine a tier 3 immortal pill, and it won't take up much of your time. Honestly speaking, even a pill master can be considered to be in the 3rd or 9th tier. I feel that your level might not be too reliable. Chen Shang laughed. He was not afraid of angering Feng Yuji at all, so he intentionally provoked her. Feng Yuji thought for a bit, then laughed. I'll compete with you, but my time is extremely precious. If you lose, you have to compensate me with the lost time. What if I win? Chen Shang asked. This Feng Yuji obviously wanted some benefits. In Feng Yuji's eyes, he was a big spender with a pile of holy level medicinal ingredients. Although she was a pill saint, it was not easy for her to obtain some holy level medicinal ingredients. So what if you win? Weren't you the one who issued the challenge to me? Even if Feng Yuji knew that she wouldn't lose, she didn't want to bet with Chen Shang at all. Chen Shang took out a phoenix fruit and laughed. If I lose, this is for you. You should recognize this thing, right? Of course I recognize him. Let's start now then. Feng Yuji was secretly delighted. It was just as she had guessed. Chen Shang still had the precious holy level S and herbs on him. Chen Shang said, the rules are set by me, so let's compete in refining the Biwan Dan. The fastest is the one with the most pills out, and the one with the best quality will win. Moreover, the pill furnace is not allowed to be used. At first, Feng Yuji thought that it was pretty normal, but in the end, she frowned. You don't need a pill furnace, you sure you've already reached that stage? In other words, Aunt Feng has done the same. Chen Shang smiled with confidence. Not only did he manage to do it, he could also control hundreds and thousands of magic method furnace at the same time. Of course I can do it, but it's not easy. I only mastered it when I was refining a tier 7 immortal pill. I didn't expect you to be so much more powerful than I imagined. Feng Yuji took out a large, clean carpet and laid it flat on the ground. I'll be the one to produce the ingredients. Feng Yuji laughed lightly and threw a jasper gourd to Chen Shang. This jasper gourd was no different from the ones he had refined before. He suspected that Feng Yuji would refine some pills here from time to time. Su Meiyao laughed. Then let us be the judges. Are you all ready? Chen Shang also suddenly became serious, and the battle intent in his eyes ignited. The two looked at each other for a moment, then nodded at Su Meiyao. Begin. As soon as her voice fell, Feng Yuji threw the jasper gourd in his hands high up into the air. Chen Shang did not start, but looked carefully at Feng Yuji. He wanted to see clearly how the pill saint did not rely on his pill furnace to concoct pills. The jasper gourd floated above Feng Yuji's head. She opened her arms and released a snow-white flame that was like a snowball, wrapping the jasper gourd inside. Chen Shang immediately activated Chaos Divine Eye, and peeked inside the white ball of fire, only to see the jasper gourd quickly being refined, and upon seeing this scene, he immediately released his magic method furnace. He could already see that Feng Yuji's refinement technique was extremely fast, and was probably not slower than him. If he did not hurry up to refine it, he would probably be slower than her. Feng Yuji was extremely interested in Chen Shang. She had planned to see how Chen Shang would refine the pill from the very beginning, but who knew that Chen Shang would actually not take action. Instead, he would look at her. Using divine power to create a pill furnace is indeed a method. Indeed, it requires divine power to do so. Feng Yuji had thought of doing this before, but she felt that it would be slower, so she thought of a way herself. Chen Shang placed the jasper gourd into the transparent magic method furnace, released the 5 elements sacred flame, and burned the jasper gourd. While it was being burned, the 5 elements sacred flame gave off a dazzling and beautiful multicolored light. The heated jasper gourd also continuously emitted a dark green light, orbiting around the pill furnace, allowing people to clearly see the changes inside the pill furnace. As Feng Yuji refined her own Biwan Dan, she also observed Chen Shang carefully. To her, Chen Zhang's method of refinement was extremely novel, and there were many things that she could learn from him. 5 elements sacred flame. Your control over fire has already surpassed that of many alchemists. Feng Yuji could not help but exclaim. From the beginning to the end, Chen Shang seemed to be extremely outstanding, as though he was truly a good seedling. However, she did not think that Chen Shang could defeat her. Although Chen Shang had defeated her, he didn't think that he would win any treasures. He only had a vengeful heart, because Feng Yuji had teased him before and looked down on him. Aunt Feng, you are going to lose. Chen Shang laughed. He had already condensed a very strong divine power and flames, storing them in his body. As long as the jasper gourd started to move, he would be able to use divine flame flash technique to instantly refine the jasper gourd. Feng Yuji did not think so, and laughed. Aren't you making your judgment too early? I am preparing to enter the core formation stage, and you have just started practicing. You should still be very young. No matter how proficient your control over the foreseeing alchemy is, you are not as proficient as me. Chen Shang laughed loudly. That's right, my control over the foreseeing alchemy is actually very weak. I can only use the foreseeing alchemy to refine the ground level pills. It's been many years since I've used the foreseeing alchemy to refine pills. As he finished speaking, a ray of light suddenly shot out from his palm into the inner part of the jasper gourd, and at the same time, it entered the 5 elements sacred flame. The slightly swaying jasper gourd was struck by the god power and flames that he had condensed, causing a burst of strong green-colored light to burst out, enveloping the entire stone room in this dark green-colored light. When Feng Yuji saw this scene, her expression suddenly changed. That sudden event happened too fast, and before she could even react, she saw that a ball of air had already appeared within Chen Zhang's magic method furnace. Now, even though an hour had not passed, and it had only been a short moment, Chen Shang had actually refined a jasper gourd and directly entered into the core formation stage. This was Chen Zhang's superb performance. Whenever he was competing with others, he would perform better than usual. Chapter 1551. Feng Yuji did not expect Chen Zhang's pill refining skills to be so strange. She did not use the foreseeing alchemy, and had even refined the ingredients in an instant. This sudden change put a lot of pressure on her, because she was very sure that Chen Shang would not be able to win against her previously, but she was very confident of winning, because she was a pill saint, and in terms of quantity and quality, she would definitely not be able to compare to a brat like Chen Shang. Even if Chen Shang was faster than her, if the quantity of pills dropped was less than the quality, he would still be unable to defeat her. In the end, he would still lose and win. Chen Shang was currently only releasing a weak sacred flame to maintain the temperature of the magic method furnace, allowing him to steadily enter the final stage of the core formation stage. Just like what Chen Shang had done just now, she had also refined that jasper gourd. She was just a bit slower than Chen Shang, so her speed was considered very fast now. The process of condensing the pellet was somewhat difficult, so the two of them did not make any further movements. Both of them allowed the lump of medicine aura and medicinal powder to fuse, and then stabilize. It's about time to start. Chen Shang looked at the magic method furnace's dark green ball of air. With a thought, he released a burst of god power, preparing to cut that ball of mist. Seeing that Chen Shang could split the mist, Feng Yuji knew that Chen Shang could also refine the multicolored Biwandan, but she still felt that she would not be able to surpass Chen Shang. Just as he was about to cut open the barrier, Chen Shang suddenly released a burst of flames that covered the entire magic method furnace and covered its interior. Feng Yuji cursed at him while gritting his teeth. Chen Shang didn't want Feng Yuji to see the number of pills he had taken out, in case Feng Yuji would make a move. Feng Yuji also started to cut that ball of air. Just like Chen Shang, she also released a white flame to wrap it up, carefully carrying it out from the inside. Chen Shang anxiously used Chaos Divine Eye to look, but Feng Yuji used some strange power to prevent him from peeping. Feng Yuji suddenly felt an inexplicable pressure. Although the news of her and Chen Shang competing in pill refining here would not spread out, but if she really lost to Chen Shang, this would definitely be an unerasable stain in her heart. But when she thought about how she had won, and obtained a phoenix fruit, she didn't lose anything, and her heart became much more balanced. No matter what, the one losing was Chen Shang. Chen Shang didn't think so. If he could win against Feng Yuji, he could tease this naughty mature woman from time to time. You seem to be faster than me, but you didn't open the pill furnace. Are you waiting for me? Feng Yuji said. No, I'm letting you win. You are Sister Meiyao and Sister Yu's mother, I don't want you to lose that badly. Chen Shang smiled slightly. Feng Yuji cursed inwardly. In order to make her lose so badly, he had purposely increased her speed a little. If she still lost, he would make her feel ashamed. In that case, I will make your loss difficult. Feng Yuji controlled the ball of white flame above her to slowly descend and hover in front of her. Watch carefully, don't be scared. Feng Yuji smiled confidently and withdrew the white flames that were wrapped around the Biwandan. The three Biwandans floated quietly in the air, surrounded by a faint green mist, like bright green stars in a nebula. Chen Shang deliberately revealed an extremely shocked expression and shouted in an exaggerated manner. Amazing, as expected of a holy pellet, a jasper gourd can actually refine 3 Biwandan, undefeatable. Brat, stop hiding, hurry up and let me see the result. Feng Yuji frowned and shouted. Chen Shang praising her in such an exaggerated manner made her feel like he was belittling her. It made her suddenly feel uncertain. Chen Shang chuckled. I still need a bit more time, I'll be fine soon. He closed his eyes and took a few deep breaths, then with a groan, he retracted the flames that had been wrapped around the pill furnace. Inside, 4 Biwandans appeared, but what was surprising was that these 4 Biwandans all released a strong light. Just like the sun, it was hard for people to look straight at them. It was actually pill light. S face was filled with shock. Even without using a pill furnace to concoct pills, she could produce 4 pills, and there was even a pill glow. At this moment, she was severely injured, because she had lost, although there was only a single pill difference, but whether it was in strength or the time of concocting pills, she was much stronger than Chen Shang, and was actually lagging behind Chen Shang by a single pill. Chen Shang waved his hand and let the 4 Biwandan floating in front of Feng Yuji. He laughed proudly. Taste it, let's see how good the quality is. Feng Yuji exhaled, reached out, grabbed the 4 Biwandans, and looked at Chen Shang with an unwilling face. Su Meiyao and Bai Yu were not too surprised. They had already expected such an outcome. You lost. Chen Shang laughed. How are you? Are you sad? Damn brat, don't be cocky. Feng Yuji looked at Chen Shang with hidden bitterness, and was slightly angry in his heart. This was because Chen Shang clearly wanted to see her make a fool of herself. Chen Shang said with a serious face, Aunt Feng, you are a pill saint, even if I went out and told everyone that I defeated you, they would not believe me, so don't worry, I won't go around and ruin your reputation. He tossed the phoenix fruit in his hand and laughed. This fruit is not that easy to obtain. Seeing Feng Yuji's defeated expression, Chen Shang laughed loudly before walking out of the cave and entering the transmission array. When Luo Qi saw Chen Shang smiling so happily, he did not know what had happened. He did not ask further, but rather, activated the transmission array and left. Mei Yao, Yu, what method did that damn kid use, do you know? After Chen Shang left, Feng Yuji anxiously asked. The displeasure on her face had disappeared, as though she did not lose just now. She revealed a brilliant smile. This, of course I do, but it's a bit difficult to learn. Su Meiyao said. She had studied God purification before, but her divine power was too weak, she was still unable to learn it. Can you teach me? Feng Yuji held Su Meiyao's hand and said softly, do you want to get the little demon's consent? Su Meiyao laughed tenderly. Of course not, but he is the creator of this pill refining technique. If you use it, he will definitely have something to say in the future when he opens his mouth, saying that you are his successor or something. Feng Yuji chuckled. This time, I'm not afraid. I've lived for so long, I'll lower myself to the same level as that brat, and just did what I did for him a moment ago to make that little brat feel proud. I didn't lose anything. Chen Shang left. If he knew Feng Yuji had such a state of mind, he would not be in a good spot. Little naughty dragon, they're not here anymore. We can do whatever we want from now on. Chen Shang said to Long Shui with a smirk on his face. Who's with you? Quickly go to that new house and go with those two holy girls. Long Shui laughed. If you eat them, I won't tell anyone else. Chapter 1552. Chen Shang wandered around the central area and found the address that Hong Sha and Jilinger gave him. He came to a relatively quiet area. This is the place. Not bad. Chen Shang took in a deep breath of the fragrant air, absorbing a lot of the Holy Spirit power. The Holy Spirit power in this place was really much denser than in the cave. Chen Shang knocked on the door. Previously, Hong Sha and Jilinger had said that they had their eyes on this place. If there were enough holy stone, they would buy it. Red Cloud, who had opened the door, smiled joyfully. Big boss, please come in. This place is ours from now on. Chen Shang smiled as he walked in. The moment he stepped into the door, he sensed that there were a lot of powerful formations, which made him even more at ease. He could not help but worry that there would be people intruding, so he didn't need to worry that the commotion inside would attract too much attention. Have you seen that leader? Jilinger asked anxiously. Yes. Chen Shang nodded his head. She is a woman, a pill saint. Hong Sha knew a little about the relationship between Su Meiyao and Bai Yu. Chen Shang had told her before that she needed a holy pellet to help heal her two benefactors. Then wouldn't it be easy for them to come over? Jilinger said happily. But they will be with that pill saint for a while now. I might not be able to return with them, but they should be able to come back for you guys once they recover. Chen Shang laughed. He was very happy that Su Meiyao and Bai Yu could recover. Red Cloud asked, your wish has almost been fulfilled. What's next? Chen Shang stood in the yard and looked at the endless blue sky. He thought for a moment and said, continue to refine pills, I will continue to refine tier 4 immortal pills, and at that time, I will bring back 20 million jins of holy stone. You guys can tell me how much you want. This, Hong Sha and Jilinger were a little hesitant. They obviously wanted a lot of things, but they knew that Chen Shang was in a hurry to return. 20 million kilograms each should be enough for you guys to use for a long time, and you must make good use of these holy stone to raise your strength. Who knows when I will need your help? Chen Shang helped them talk about a certain number. This is too much. Originally, they thought that Chen Shang would only help them get a few million jin holy stone at the most, because he had even helped them buy this mansion. Although they still had 10 million jin of holy stone, that was Chen Zhang's property, so they did not dare to take it for themselves. The more the merrier. Right now, through the Divine Feather School, you guys should think of ways to buy as many tier 4 immortal pills and herbs as possible, preferably at a cost of 1 pill. Also, buy some heavenly dragon grass and sacred animal fruit and bring them back as well. Right now, Chen Shang was not afraid of doing too much, because with the help of the Divine Feather School, and with his relationship with that Feng Yuji, he thought that if he met with any trouble, Feng Yuji would definitely help him out. Let's talk about this after we familiarize you with the house. Jilinger held Chen Zhang's hand, and led him to walk around this relatively large house. Red Dawn followed behind them and started to think about how they could complete Chen Zhang's request. Right now, they had 5 million holy stone s, so they had to make good use of them. Chen Shang played with the beautiful holy maiden for an entire day before letting them go to do something. At this moment, he came to a relatively large secret room underground. It's not a problem to accommodate 100 magic method furnace. Chen Shang estimated that if it were not for the dense holy spirit chi inside the holy stone that he had his eyes on, he would have gone back a long time ago. That batch of holy stone was very useful to him, so if he took back the Nine Heaven World, it would definitely be a large amount of wealth. I wonder how Nine Heaven World is doing now. Long Shui muttered, right now, the Nine Heaven World's tempo is very fast. Maybe the sky and earth have already turned upside down, maybe DTN has already returned. Chen Shang replied, I haven't gone back for more than 200 years, so I don't need this bit of time. Red Dawn and Jilinger had been out for 3 days and she had brought back a lot of sacred animal fruit but there were less heavenly dragon grass. However, it was already enough for Long Shui to eat. In the next few days, Chen Shang spent all his time refining sacred animal Dan and Tianlong Dan. Hong Sha and Jilinger traveled all over the large sky, buying Jasper Gourd and Tier 4 Immortal pills as medicine. Everyone thought that there might be another power that was born like the Super Holy School. Jilinger and Hong Sha went out for more than a month before returning. They bought a large amount of Biwan Dan and herbs, as well as some 4th grade Immortal pills. 75,000 Jasper Gourd, if you count them against 4 in one furnace, you would probably be able to sell them for 60 million kilograms. Red Cloud said. Chen Shang took the storage bag and looked at it. From now on, all of you should train well and wait for a while. Chen Shang was a little excited. As long as he finished refining these, he would be able to return to the Nine Heaven World very soon. Arriving at the secret room, Chen Shang looked at the spacious place and said with a smile, this is a better place to start, as it will allow me to release even more magic method furnace. He did not plan to refine any Tier 4 Immortal pills. After selling the Biwan Dan, he would immediately return to the Nine Heaven World. He was worried that there would be a huge change and that his friends would be in danger there. During this month, when he was refining the Tianlong Dan and Sacred Animal Dan, he had gotten used to refining them with 100 magic method furnace. He could control them, but if he continued refining, he would be very tired. Once he stepped into the immortal becoming realm, he would have to rely on concocting pills to gradually stabilize his cultivation. If he was not in a rush to return, he still wanted to increase his strength here. Refining 100 batches of Biwan Dan in 2 hours, refining for 20 hours every day would make it 1,000 batches. Even if there were more than 70,000 Jasper Gourd, at his current pace, it would not be long before they were refined into Biwan Dan. 3 months later, he came out of the secret room. All those Jasper Gourd had been turned into Biwan Dan by him, and right now, he was already proficient in the Godfire Flash technique. If he met any suitable pills, he could very quickly produce them. Jilinger and Red Dawn were both cultivating in the secret room. After Chen Shang came out, he did not disturb them, but went to take a bath himself. After sitting in the hall and waiting, he thought about what he had to do after returning to the Nine Heaven World. He must obtain the alive slain method. From Heaven's Sacred District, he had already understood that even if there were high-level medicines, they were all extremely expensive and there weren't many of them. If there was a alive slain method, like LV Kilian, who could make the spirit liquid and fuse with his creation divine liquid, then he would be able to quickly replicate a large number of high-level medicines or even holy-level medicines. Chapter 1553. Chen Shang waited for half a day before Jilinger and Red Cloud came out. When they saw Chen Shang sitting in the hall and leisurely drinking tea, they knew that he had already refined all of the Jasper Gourd into Biwan Dan. On the small table beside Chen Shang, 2 storage bags were placed. I won't be going this time. You guys should be able to settle it, right? Chen Shang looked at the 2 storage bags on the table. Because Chen Shang was about to leave, they did not expect him to refine so many Jasper Gourd. The time it took for this to happen was so fast, they had thought it would take even longer than the last time. The 2 ladies did not say anything, picked up the 2 storage bags and quickly left. Chen Shang waited for more than 2 hours before they returned. They handed over a storage bag to Chen Shang. Inside it were 30 million kilograms of holy stone. Are you leaving today? Jilinger's face was filled with reluctance. The faster the better. What transmission array do you have here that can teleport me to the outermost realm? Chen Shang nodded and pulled Jilinger into his embrace. We will meet again in the future. The red clouds also came over and hugged Chen Shang. Take care. The same goes for all of you. Chen Shang laughed. Hong Sha told him that there was a transmission array inside the Divine Feather School that could be teleported to the border regions of Tiandu. After Chen Shang bid the two girls farewell, he rushed to the Divine Feather School. He had originally planned to greet Su Meiyao and the others, but he did not go. He felt that it wouldn't be long before he would return. The relationship between Chen Shang and Divine Feather School was not bad. Feng Yuji, the leader, had also told him to treat them well, so he came to the transmission array very easily. This is a one-way transfer, so you should think about it properly. At that time, with your current strength, coming here will not be easy. Luo Qi laughed. He already knew that Chen Shang was someone from the Nine Heaven world. Let's begin. If I want to come back in the future, there's nothing that can stop me. Chen Shang cupped his fists towards Luo Qi. Take care. When Luo Qi activated the transmission array, a flash passed Chen Zhang's eyes and he felt his body quickly falling. He actually appeared high in the sky, but he could already see the faint golden screen of light. Back then, Chen Shang had passed through a layer of and arrived here, then he had encountered those holy armored lion. After arriving on the surface of the ground, Chen Shang immediately rushed towards the light screen, and followed the light screen to search for the transmission array. After finding it, he teleported to the other side, where the light curtain covered the light golden light. He's coming. Chen Shang followed his memories and ran towards the teleportation station that only he could use. There wasn't much change in this place. The teleportation station was still standing, enveloped by a powerful barrier. He took out the green dragon demon slain broadsword, only then was he able to step into the barrier that protected the teleportation station. Just as he was about to go back, he suddenly saw a stone tablet next to the barrier. There were a few words on it. He took a look and silently cursed, because this was the message that Huang Jintian had given him. This old lunatic, looks like he couldn't make it back in time. He's trapped here. He can only go back when I show up. Chen Shang threw the stone tablet to the ground and sat on the teleportation platform, waiting helplessly for Huang Jintian. He guessed that Huang Jintian would come here every so often to take a look. Long Shui laughed. In the 200 years that he's trapped here, he might be able to fish up a lot of good stuff. This old lunatic is just like you, cunning and scheming. My patience is limited. If I can't wait, I'll let him stay here temporarily. After all, there are less Nine Heaven world here, so he won't mind. Chen Shang said in annoyance. Just as he was about to go back, he saw Huang Jintian's message, making him have no choice but to wait here. It was as though he was about to piss off when he was suddenly stopped. Chen Shang was bored. He could only take out the pill furnace to concoct the pills, and at the same time, condense more creation divine liquid S. He had some immortal grade 4 medicinal ingredients, but not many of them, and he did not know when he would return, so he had to look for LV Kilian to retrieve her spirit liquid and duplicate some level 4 immortal medicinal herbs. He waited for a month, and finally, Huang Jintian. Huang Jintian was very spirited. When he saw Chen Shang sitting on the high teleportation altar, he started to laugh maniacally even from far away. It's been more than 200 years. I thought a little kid like you had died. Huang Jintian stood outside the barrier and laughed out loud. Not only are you not dead, you've even become very powerful and entered the immortal becoming realm. Chen Shang looked at him in annoyance. Master, aren't you dead yet? How have you been all these years? Huang Jintian laughed. I am together with Mauer. With the help of this little cat, I can barely survive. Chen Shang snorted. You must have ordered him to help you kill holy beasts all day long, right? Let's not talk about this anymore. Hurry up and bring me in. Huang Jintian shouted. I originally came here every few months, and every few years. It just so happened that you ran into me at the time I came back. Otherwise, you would have waited for a few more years. Chen Shang walked down the teleportation platform, curled his lips, and said, Don't worry, I'll only wait 2 months at most and then leave. Who has the patience to wait here for so many years? Damn brat, I'm your master. Huang Jintian really wanted to ruthlessly hit Chen Shang on the head, but he was helpless as there was a powerful barrier separating them. Chen Shang walked out of the barrier and took out his divine tripod. He said, This is the only way to get you out of here. Huang Jintian knew that Chen Shang, this divine cauldron, was specially used to store corpses and so on. His expression became a little unnatural. That's decent enough. It'll only take an hour at most. Chen Shang said. Hurry up, if I wasn't in a rush to return to the Nine Heaven world, I would have continued to stay in Tiandu. What, you're actually in Tiandu City? You brat, you've been living there for over 200 years. I'm being chased and beaten up by saint beasts all day. There are many times where I almost died. This is too unfair, Huang Jintian scolded as he jumped into the divine furnace. Chen Shang shrunk the spirit cauldron and walked into the enchantment. He climbed onto the teleportation platform and pierced the green dragon demon's slain broadsword through the hole, opening transmission array and returned to the stone room at the bottom of the Meteor Mountain range. After coming to the surface, Chen Shang looked around, and did not feel any changes. The only difference was that the flowers and plants here had increased, so he released Huang Jintian. Master, is there any big change in the Nine-Heaven world? Why do I have a bad feeling about it? Chen Shang looked around him and felt an indescribable pressure in his heart. Huang Jintian pinched his fingers, as if he was calculating something, and his face became extremely serious. I didn't expect it to be so fast. DTN has already returned to his position. Damn it, we teacher and disciple have missed that day. Huang Jintian scolded. I wonder what kind of bird it is now. Chapter 1554. DTN really came back, although Chen Shang had expected it, but he never expected it to be so sudden. What will happen now? Chen Shang asked. Originally, would the powers in Nine-Heaven world think of a way to take over DTN? I wonder how long the evil dragon graveyard with your dragon fountain can hold on for. DTN will return to his position, and the immortal chi there will be the same as before. The dragon fountain will become a spiritual crystal, and it's more likely to be a celestial jade. Huang Jintian said. I wonder how strong that dragon subduing school of yours is as a whole. After all, it's only been 200 years. Chen Shang and Huang Jintian hurried towards the closest immortal palace to find out more detailed information. After entering one of the immortal palaces, Chen Shang and Huang Jintian learned a lot of shocking news. Originally, many of the major powers of the Nine Heavens had moved their headquarters to DTN because the evolution there was extremely strong. It wasn't immortal energy, but Holy Spirit energy. DTN had returned more than 20 years ago, and many conflicts had already broken out up there. Among them, the dragon-subduing school of Chen Shang had been attacked a few times, and the entire dragon-subduing city had been destroyed, but the evil dragon graveyard was extremely sturdy, and had not been broken through. There were still many experts from great powers buried in the evil dragon graveyard, and right now, the place had already become a place filled with an aura of death. This bunch of bastards, sure enough they attacked my dragon-subduing school, it was hard to escape from them being outside the evil dragon graveyard. Chen Shang was furious. Don't worry, we're not weak right now. When we go back, we'll deal with it. Damn it, Huang Jintian patted Chen Zhang's shoulder. The 100 Flowers Immortal Palace had already moved to the DTN. The Demon Empress LV Qinlian had already set it up on the top, and with the return of DTN, the 100 Flowers Immortal Palace would be able to easily make it up. The main force that attacked the dragon-subduing school were Chen Zhang's previous great enemies, such as Imperial Dragon Race, Fire Divine Palace, and so on. After knowing that the evil dragon graveyard was very sturdy, Chen Shang felt more at ease. However, he did not go to DTN immediately. I still have things to do here. Master, go to DTN first and help me investigate who attacked me. Wait for me to return, then we can launch a huge counterattack. Chen Shang said. All right. Huang Jintian used the transmission array to teleport to DTN. Chen Shang suppressed the anger in his heart and teleported to the Demon Imperial Palace and the Devil-Suppressing Divine Palace's headquarters. This ancient Devil-Suppressing Divine Palace is unable to migrate to DTN. The things left behind by the Devil-Suppressing Heavenly Venerable should be here. Chen Shang walked into the Devil-Suppressing Divine Palace and took out a signboard to prove his identity as Hall Master. Hundreds of Flowers Heavenly Emperor. Isn't it the Hall Master who went missing 200 years ago? When a Hall Master that was left behind saw that jade tablet, he felt his heart shake. This was a Hall Master that was over 200 years old, and his status was much higher than his. Chen Shang said, I was cultivating in seclusion, I did not expect that it would be 200 years. Furthermore, I have made a big breakthrough, I am here to challenge the Divine Palace protectors. There were only a few ancient devil-suppressing Divine Palaces left to guard this place. When they heard that there was a Hall Master challenging the Divine Palace protectors, they all took a deep breath, because the Divine Palace protectors were all very strong. What, aren't they here? Chen Shang asked. They are all in DTN, you should be going to that place. The Hall Master here said. Chen Shang secretly said to Long Shuiyi, help me inspect this devil-suppressing Divine Palace. That place is the most secretive and has powerful restrictions. I am too lazy to look for that divine palace protectors. Are you planning to barge in? I like it. Wait a minute. Long Shui laughed, and immediately went to investigate. Seeing Chen Shang standing there motionlessly with his entire body brimming with fighting intent, the few old fellows here all perspired. Chen Shang entering the immortal becoming realm, merging the god power and saint force, adding the powerful body of heavenly sage, his strength was deep and unfathomable. The moment he stood there, just releasing his aura, it would cause them to be unable to breathe. The experts that were guarding this place were all gathered in DTN. Although the ones that were left here were all powerful immortal kings, they were all nothing in Chen Zhang's eyes. This devil-suppressing divine palace has 100 floors in total, but the upper part is added at the end, probably to cover up the things that are hidden in the middle. It should be on the 50th floor. Long Shui said. Let's take the stairs, there is a powerful array outside protecting us, it is more difficult to enter from the outside. Chen Shang nodded and then rushed up the stairs. Seeing Chen Shang suddenly going in, those elders were shocked and hurriedly tried to stop him, but Chen Shang was already nowhere to be seen. It is forbidden land up there. Quickly inform divine palace protectors and the Lord Howmaster that this fellow is crazy. An old man shouted. The lower floors were all normal, and there were many rooms of various sizes. But when Chen Shang reached the 50th floor, it was completely empty, and in the middle, there was actually a black metal chest. This thing looks very familiar. Chen Shang saw the coffin-like black chest, and couldn't help but exclaim, I've seen it in the evil divine palace, the boxes that the evil emperor left behind are exactly the same. In a flash, Chen Shang arrived beside the black box. There was a groove there, from the lines on the groove, Chen Shang could clearly see that it was possible to put the holy devil suppressing seal down. There were many people rushing over from below. Chen Shang did not care about them, he took out the holy devil suppressing seal and placed it into the groove, only seeing a black box flash, and became a jade box. It's exactly the same as what evil emperor left behind. Back then, there was a method to go to heavenly evil realms box. Could it be that devil suppressing heavenly venerable also went to a heavenly realm? Chen Shang opened the lid and inside there was a 7-story golden pagoda. At the bottom of the box, there were many spirit grains and some ancient characters. The demon god suppressing pagoda should also be a good item that the devil suppressing heavenly venerable has. Why didn't he want it after he went to the heavenly realm? Chen Shang was extremely suspicious. He kept the jade box, but at that moment, a group of people had already rushed over. So fast. Chen Shang looked at a middle-aged man dressed in golden armor and laughed. You must be divine palace protectors. As the divine palace protectors here, he obviously knew that there was a black coffin in the middle of this place, but it had disappeared now. This caused him to be shocked in his heart, because the black coffin was very difficult to move, and the strongest among them had once tried to lift it, but they were unable to do so. But now, it was missing. This could only mean that this person had something to open the black coffin. As for the thing that opened the black coffin, it was only the holy devil suppressing seal. Because of how powerful the black coffin was, the experts of the devil-suppressing divine palace thought that the powerful treasures left behind by the devil-suppressing heavenly venerable were inside. Now that they saw the black coffin being snatched away, their hearts were filled with jealousy and anger. What about the black coffin? The divine palace protectors asked angrily. Among my storage magic treasure, I originally planned to first challenge you guys before taking them away, but I was too lazy to look for you guys at DTN and there weren't any powerful people guarding this place. Thus, I came up myself. Chen Shang smiled. He actually laughed when he took away such a precious thing in this place. There was only one divine palace protectors that had arrived, and his strength was only at the first cycle of the sacred transformation realm. How did you open it? Divine palace protectors had already taken out a sacred sword and his face was ice cold. To dare to charge in and take their sacred artifact, this was a great humiliation to them. Chen Shang took out the holy devil suppressing seal, changed back to his own appearance, and laughed. It's precisely used to take away this thing. I have the holy devil suppressing seal, but it's the hall master of the devil suppressing divine palace, it's just that you guys won't admit it. Chen Shang. The old men behind him were all incomparably shocked. They had always thought that Chen Shang was hiding inside the evil dragon graveyard, but he actually appeared here. That's right, I'll give you guys a chance. As long as you recognize me as the Lord Howmaster of the devil suppressing divine palace, I can spare your lives. Chen Shang said seriously. Humph, if you hand the holy devil suppressing seal over, I can leave you an intact corpse. When the Divine Palace protectors saw the Holy Devil suppressing seal, his eyes burned with passion. Obtaining this was equivalent to obtaining the inheritance of the devil suppressing heavenly Venerable. Chen Zhang's expression turned cold and said in a cold voice, "Since you want it, I'll give it to you." He threw the Holy Devil suppressing seal in his hands with all his might. When the Holy Devil suppressing seal flew over, it suddenly became big, bringing along a terrifying wave of devil suppressing magic power, causing the entire devil suppressing divine palace to shake as well. Chen Shang was using God power now, and it was Immortal becoming realm, which was many times stronger than the previous holy energy. Now, the Holy Devil suppressing seal was flying towards him, bringing with it a strong pressure, as if it could crush everything. Sensing the terrifying power, the Divine Palace protector's face changed, as he anxiously slashed at the incoming Holy Devil suppressing seal. The word, subdue, suddenly flashed out and pressed towards the Divine Palace protectors, crushing him with a majestic power. The word Gen pierced through Divine Palace protectors' body, without making any sound. The Divine Palace protectors turned into a cloud of smoke, causing the entire place to become deathly silent. Only the crisp sound of the holy sword hitting the ground resounded. Chen Shang opened his palm and the Holy Devil suppressing seal slowly surfaced from his palm, as if it had fused with his body. Seeing this scene, the elders knew that the Holy Devil suppressing seal had already accepted Chen Shang and had fused with him. One of the old men anxiously shouted, "Greetings Lord Hall Master, I am willing to follow you." Following that, a group of people started to shout out. No one else wanted to die, although they were considered strong in the ninth heaven, but Divine Palace protectors, which was much stronger than them, had already died to the point where not even dregs remained. At this moment, they were extremely afraid of Chen Shang. Chen Shang picked up the holy sword, and then said indifferently, "I remember all of you. In the future, if I see you together with that group of imposters, it would be equivalent to betraying me, and your fate would be the same as that guy." Chapter 1555. Chen Shang had the Holy Devil suppressing seal in his possession, and also received the majority of the Devil suppressing Heavenly Venerable's inheritance, but he did not want to take over the Devil suppressing Divine Palace. In his eyes, this was equivalent to a mess. The Devil suppressing Divine Palace was not the one that was created at the beginning, and had long deviated from the original intention of establishing the Devil suppressing Heavenly Venerable. However, he felt that it might be LV Kilian who would take over in the future. After all, this was something that her father had left for her, and she had learned even more devil suppressing Kung Fu. When this news spread out, it immediately caused a huge uproar. Very soon, it reached the ears of DTN, who was a gathering of experts. Chen Shang was the master of that dragon vein, and right now, the dragon vein was being fought over by many great powers. Now that Chen Shang had appeared, and he even easily killed a Divine Palace protectors, it could be seen that his strength had increased by a lot, causing the great powers to feel some pressure. Because of DTN's reappearance, the other 9 days were relatively desolate. Many great powers all moved to DTN, who possessed the Holy Spirit Qi, and occupied their own territories there, taking over some of the large and small sects that were originally on top of DTN. Chen Shang headed towards the original Hundreds of Flowers Immortal country and came to the 100 Flowers mountain range, searching for the mountain peak that the Grandma LV lived in. He wanted to find Bai Ziqian and tell her about Bai Yuyu's current situation, but that mountain range was no longer there and had been destroyed by someone. Could it be that Grandma LV also went to DTN? Chen Shang looked at the endless sky. He knew that DTN was right above him, but he was too far away from here, so he couldn't see him with the naked eye. "Go to DTN, Long Shui said. "It's so lively over there, how can I leave you behind? Besides, it's about time for me to complete my mission." Chen Shang came to 100 Flower Palace and stepped into the transmission array. "You need to find the Imperial Dragon race for revenge." Chen Shang was one of the few Bai Long. Her mission was to take revenge on the Imperial Dragon race, and she had grown up extremely fast following Chen Shang over the years. "That's right, maybe your sister is already waiting for me," Long Shui said. "Yulin as well." Chen Shang suddenly became a little worried. "I also have a grudge with the Imperial Dragon race. Why don't I go with you guys?" "No need, Yulin and I are just going to teach the Imperial Dragon race a lesson first so they can prepare themselves. Don't worry, I won't let anything happen to Yulin," Long Shui said. "You still don't believe in my strength." When the transmission array opened, Chen Shang and a few other people were teleported to DTN. Those people all had the strength of a mortal king. After collecting the spiritual crystal, they immediately rushed to DTN to take a look at DTN's eyes. The place he had come to through the transmission array was a relatively ancient city and was not newly constructed. However, to have such a large-scale transmission array, it must have been taken over by a powerful force. He asked around and found out that this was the Flower Emperor's DTN. From the Hundreds of Flowers Immortal country to DTN, you have come to the territory of the Hundreds of Flowers Palace. Looks like the Hundreds of Flowers Palace has occupied quite a lot of land. They should be the demon realm of DTN. Sister Lian has already taken control of this place. Chen Shang walked onto the street and saw a group of people walking past. Long Shui said, "We will separate for now. This is a place that you are familiar with, and you are also a mortal becoming realm now. I do not need to worry about you." Chen Shang laughed and scolded, "So it turns out that in your eyes, I have always been a child. Speaking of that, I'm actually worried about you." Long Shui and Chen Shang had interacted with each other for so long, and the two of them had even dual cultivated with the God's join method before, so their relationship could already be considered to be rather deep since they were husband and wife. Now that they suddenly had to leave each other's side for a period of time, they couldn't bear to part with it, and they were also extremely worried about the other party. "I'll be back at 1 o'clock. You have so many delicious things here, how can I bear to leave you?" Long Shui laughed and suddenly left the ring. He turned into a wisp of smoke and floated away. There was no one inside the serene jade ring now. Looking at Long Shui who had disappeared into the distance, Chen Shang suddenly felt lonely. "Only myself." Chen Shang looked at the majestic palace at the end of the street. Chen Shang was currently using his own appearance to walk amongst DTN. He was very confident in his current strength, he didn't need to change his appearance to look like anyone else. It had been a long time since he left DTN, but many of the older generation still recognized him. Looking at his face, they initially felt that it was hard to believe, because right now, Chen Shang did not have any kind of aura nor any kind of might. After knowing that it was Chen Shang, everyone immediately opened up a path, causing the people on both sides of the street to be in discussion. They did not know why Chen Shang wanted to go to Hundreds of Flowers Palace. There were many reasons why Chen Shang went to the Hundreds of Flowers Palace. One of them was to find the location of the Grandma LV, so he could quickly find Bai Ziqian. The other reason was that he wanted to find LV Kilian and find out where the alive slain method was. When Chen Shang arrived at the main door of the Hundreds of Flowers Palace, he immediately walked in. The guards did not stop him, probably because they had received LV Kilian's orders. When he appeared on the main street, the news had already spread to the Hundreds of Flowers Palace. Not long after Chen Shang entered the Hundreds of Flowers Palace, he saw little Lizzie and LV Qinlian walking out. LV Qinlian was LV Kilian's younger sister, so the two of them had a very good relationship. The little demon empress had long since gone to DTN to lay a good foundation, so after DTN returned to his position, the Hundreds of Flowers Palace moved up very easily. In the beginning, because of LV Qinlian's battle with a powerful evil Snake King, she was poisoned by the strange poison and was severely injured. In the end, she could not allow her own demon charming association to retreat, and secretly developed all over again. Although LV Qinlian was a spirit demon who had transformed into a lotus flower, she did not have a trace of spirit demon chi on her body. She was elegant, sweet, gentle and lovely, with an aura that was not from the mortal world. Little Lizzie, who was beside LV Qinlian, had a cold face as usual. She did not have a smile and had a head full of short hair that fell to her shoulders. "Sister Lian, I missed you so much." When Chen Shang saw LV Qinlian, she quickly walked forward and hugged LV Qinlian, allowing her delicate body to stick close to him. Especially LV Qinlian's well-developed chest, which was squeezed tightly onto his body. Chapter 1556. LV Qinlian did not expect that Chen Shang would be so passionate the moment he saw her, holding her tightly and wanting to merge her into his body. Sensing Chen Zhang's deep thoughts, LV Qinlian was moved, her face flushed red as she pouted, "Brat, don't forget about the reflection of my body." Back then, Chen Shang and LV Qinlian had been together for a period of time, and many of the time, the two of them had been intimate with each other, both having feelings for each other. However, once they started to get emotional, LV Qinlian's body would emit a very powerful poisonous scent, and even Chen Zhang's devil-suppressing golden body would not be able to resist it. "I'm very powerful now, I'm not afraid. Besides, Sister Lian, you can definitely control those poisonous scent." Chen Shang said while grinning. At this time, he was still carrying away LV Chinlian's fragrant and soft body, unwilling to let go. Little Lizzie had already witnessed Chen Shang kissing with LV Kilian before, and now that LV Kilian's sister seemed to have done something bad to Chen Zhang's evil hands, she actually looked to be in such a good relationship. Let go, LV Chinlian whispered to herself in a sweet voice as she pinched Chen Zhang's waist, letting him go from her warm embrace. Chen Shang laughed while looking at Little Lizzie, you look all right. After coming back from that sacred domain, you have improved quite a bit. As he said that, he was about to embrace Little Lizzie, but Little Lizzie avoided it very quickly. Brat, stop messing around, quickly go see my sister. She is often praised by me with great difficulty, and I have heard about you saving her and Little Lizzie. LV Chinlian pulled Chen Zhang's hand and walked towards the great hall in front. Little Lizzie walked in front and asked softly, you have stayed in that sacred domain for more than 200 years. Yeah, I got a lot out there. LV Chinlian replied. At this moment, he was holding LV Chinlian's soft and jade hands and massaging them lightly. LV Chinlian did not feel repulsed by it. A woman like her who was covered in poison could only be suppressed by Chen Zhang's devil-suppressing golden body. LV Chinlian knew this, even though she was a spirit demon, but after transforming, she still had human feelings, she needed men. Entering the Great Hall, Flower Emperor LV Kilian sat on a large jade chair. Inside the Great Hall she was the only one. When LV Kilian saw this, she could not help but frown, especially when she saw Chen Shang gently rubbing LV Chinlian's jade hands. She immediately scolded in her heart. She did not expect that this little scoundrel Chen Shang would actually already have acted against her little sister. Seeing her sister's gaze that was off, LV Chinlian snorted lightly and flung away Chen Zhang's hands. Then, he stood beside Little Lizzie and kept his distance from him. Chen Shang raised her head and looked at LV Kilian who was seated at the top of the Great Hall. She was dressed in a luxurious and dignified golden robe, and unconsciously released a strong pressure. Her expression was solemn and full of might. You have been to the devil-suppressing divine palace? LV Kilian asked. She had heard about the matter of the divine palace protectors being killed. I've been there before. I've already opened the thing left behind by the devil-suppressing heavenly venerable. Chen Shang took out the jade box and placed it in the middle of the hall. LV Kilian left the chair and with a flash, he arrived beside the jade box. He carefully examined the profound and ancient patterns on the box. Is that the only thing inside the black coffin? LV Kilian frowned, feeling a little disappointed. Chen Shang took out a small pagoda and smiled. There's still this, but I won't give you this. I promised to help you find the whereabouts of the devil-suppressing heavenly venerable, but I never promised to give you the treasure that I found. No trace of him. LV Kilian had to desperately save her and Little Lizzie time and time again, but she had yet to repay his gratitude. No matter how presumptuous Chen Shang was in front of her, she could not bring herself to be angry at him. Little Lizzie and LV Chinlian also looked at the jade box. They were familiar with formation spirit grain, but could not understand what those spirit grain meant. They were closest to LV Kilian, and they already knew that devil-suppressing heavenly venerable was her father. You don't understand. The spirit grain above can actually set up a transmission array and teleport them to a heaven realm. I just don't know what kind of heaven realm it is. Chen Shang caressed the spirit grain above, pointed to the small ancient characters and said, when I was trapped inside the evil divine palace by those bastards, there was a jade chest left behind by the evil emperor, which also pointed to the heaven realm. That heaven realm is called the heavenly evil realm. Chen Shang said, you should all know how terrifying the heavenly realm is. Take the sacred domain for example, the central region is much more terrifying than what you imagine. Little Lizzie said, right now, there are 2 sky regions that have opened their doors to DTN and are trying to rope in some of the big powers. Heaven Sword City and the others have all pledged their allegiance to the DTN and we have also received the invitation. I've found the clue, Flower Emperor. Now it's your turn to fulfill your promise, right? Chen Shang said, this jade chest is for you. Whether or not you want to go to that sky region to look for the devil-suppressing heavenly venerable, you decide. LV Kilian took out a storage bag and said, this is the Immortal Grade's medicinal ingredient that I had promised to give you initially. It's mainly the first and second stage of Immortal Grade's Yushan Dan. When Chen Shang returned from the sacred domain, he brought along a large group of Immortal Grade 3 Yushan Dan and Immortal Grade 3 Biwan Dan. However, since it was given to him by the other party, Chen Shang could only smile and accept it. Right, where is the grandma LV? Do you 2 sisters know? Chen Shang asked. I don't know. When our agreement arrives, she leaves by herself. I also want to find her. LV Kilian shook his head helplessly. I think she should make a move against the higher-ups of devil-suppressing Divine Palace. What about the alive-slain method, can you tell me now? Chen Shang asked anxiously. The heaven-earth killing method, he was only lacking by this much. When LV Qinlian heard this, he was slightly surprised. Sis, you want to pass the alive-slain method to him? LV Kilian nodded. This is an agreement between him and me, and he is also very suitable to learn it. Brat, your evil dragon graveyard is being attacked every day, aren't you in a hurry to go back and take a look? LV Qinlian smiled at Chen Shang, as if he was congratulating him in advance for obtaining the alive-slain method. Of course I will go back. When the time comes, I will let those guys have a good time. Chen Shang clenched his fist, his face full of hatred. This was the first time LV Qinlian and the other two girls saw him in such a state. However, they were sure that the big powers that had attacked the evil dragon graveyard were going to suffer. Follow me, I will pass the alive-slain method to you. LV Kilian kept the jade chest, and lightly called out to Chen Shang. Chapter 1557, The alive-slain method is with you. Chen Shang was a little surprised. So you have been lying to me. It's not on me, you'll know soon enough. LV Kilian walked towards a secret room, but little Lizzie and LV Qinlian did not follow him, and only Chen Shang went in. Arriving at the secret room, Chen Shang saw a transmission array. LV Kilian took off her shiny golden gown and wore only a waist tied to a skirt. Her light attire made Chen Shang feel like she was going to fight. Where's Xiao Shang? Isn't she by your side? Chen Shang walked into the transmission array and asked. She is in the midst of breaking through to the Saint Soul stage. The number of Sword Emperor inheritances in her body is increasing. She is currently immersed in those profound sword techniques every day. LV Kilian opened the transmission array and went into a valley. There was a cliff and carved on it was the profound formula of the alive-slain method. Her voice was gentle as she said, How are you doing in the heavenly domain? Why have you been here for 200 years? LV Kilian was very curious about the depths of the heavenly region. She had the ambition to become an emperor, and she knew very well that there were extremely terrifying existences in the heavenly region. Chen Shang looked at the chants on the cliff, then looked at LV Kilian. Seeing her red lips, he couldn't help but recall the feeling she had when she violently kissed him. I have been doing very well in the heavenly realm. I met a pill saint, and I even got a lot of these things. Chen Shang took out a piece of holy stone and threw it to LV Kilian. LV Kilian received it and looked at it, then sighed. As expected, it's this kind of holy stone. Back then, the people from the two heavenly regions used this kind of thing to win over many great powers. Back then, they said that they would give me 2 million kilograms every 100 years. Chen Shang laughed. How could we, the 100 Flowers Emperor, want you? After we take you we will have their subordinate strength, and in order for them to prevent you from getting rid of them, they will also properly suppress your powers, leaving you all with no choice but to rely on him in the future. That's right, what if it's you? I heard that they plan to use 10 million jin to exchange for your dragon's vein, will you agree? With these holy stone, you can break through the immortal becoming realm and become even easier. You will soon become a saint. LV Kilian stared at Chen Shang with her beautiful eyes. She was very curious about Chen Zhang's answer. Chen Shang laughed out loud. Didn't I say before, I have gotten hold of a lot of these holy stone, and my dragon vein may become a saint someday. When that time comes, I will have endless holy stone. These mere 5 million jin holy stone want to bribe me, they are too naive. Let's not talk about that anymore. Hurry up and get this alive slain method for me. It's up to you, you won't be able to learn it. Chen Shang urged. LV Kilian pointed to a flat rock, telling him to sit there so that he could face the cliff face. I don't know if you'll be able to learn it. In short, I spent a lot of effort to get it back then, but my father placed some restrictions on this cliff and only his relatives will be able to get hold of it easily. It should be easier for you to obtain most of his inheritance. Chen Shang sat on top of the rock, looking at the dense and obscure incantations, listening to LV Kilian's light and beautiful voice, and breathing in the spiritual aura of the mysterious valley, allowing him to gradually enter into a strange state. You are a divine cultivator, and I will allow my soul to enter your divine sense sea. You can resist me as much as I can. LV Kilian's voice had already resounded in Chen Zhang's mind. Yes, Chen Shang replied, then asked, Big Sis Kilian, were you a divine cultivator before you became a saint? No, I only managed to cultivate God's soul after becoming a saint. Most people do so after becoming a saint. Have you entered the saint realm yet? LV Kilian was very curious about Chen Zhang's current strength. She knew that Chen Shang was very strong and could completely restrain his aura, causing her to be unable to see through him. It's just that the immortal becoming realm has been changed. When Chen Shang finished speaking, he had already sensed that LV Kilian's soul had begun to enter his divine sense C. He immediately closed his eyes and relaxed his entire body, as he really didn't want to resist LV Kilian at all. LV Kilian cried out in alarm. In that case, for your sacred energy to fuse with the divine power, that kind of power is extremely terrifying. LV Kilian had already known that Chen Shang possessed a terrifying amount of holy energy before he had turned into a holy emperor. Hee, now that you know how powerful I am, you can relax. I will definitely treat little Lizzie and Qinlian well in the future. Chen Shang laughed sinisterly. If Qinlian the little poison demon wants to find a man, I'm afraid in this world, only I am suitable for her. Say it again, LV Kilian scolded. You really are a bastard. What kind of bewitching soup did you actually throw at Qinlian? LV Kilian had already entered Chen Zhang's divine sense sea and saw that the vast ocean was emitting a silvery white radiance that undulated up and down, looking extremely vast. LV Kilian, who was inside the divine sense sea, had a face full of astonishment. Especially when she saw the 5 beast-shaped heavenly pellets in the divine sense sea, she was extremely shocked. She did not expect Chen Shang to actually cultivate 5 of them. Your divine sense sea and soul are actually so powerful. LV Kilian's soul was currently in Chen Zhang's divine sense sea and her soul was weaker than Chen Zhang's. She was in a strong divine sense sea and it made her feel terrified. Chen Zhang's soul floated up from the ocean, and he had the same evil smile as his main body. Now, pass the alive slain method to me. LV Kilian's expression was full of vigilance. Although her main body was powerful, her soul was not as powerful as Chen Zhang's, let alone the fact that the 5 beast-shaped heavenly pellets contained a very powerful force. She was very weak in this place. What's wrong? Chen Shang asked. Your soul is as strong as the divine sense sees, you control everything here. I can't pass down the cultivation technique to you in peace, so you should use another method. LV Kilian said. So it's like this. If you want to leave, then leave. Chen Shang sighed. I can't leave. LV Kilian tried it out and his face suddenly became terrified. You definitely don't want me to leave in your heart. This divine sense sea is controlled by your will, so no matter how you think about it, it will still affect me greatly. Chen Shang was shocked, and asked, really? Just as he finished asking, LV Kilian screamed because the clothes on her body suddenly disappeared, and her jade body that was radiating holy light, was revealed without reservation. Chen Shang opened his eyes wide, took a deep breath, and greedily looked at this flawlessly beautiful body. Bastard, what are you thinking? LV Kilian's face was filled with anger, she jumped into the silver-white seawater and hid her jade body. Just now, Chen Shang had only tried it a little, and as he thought to himself, he saw that LV Kilian was not wearing any clothes at all. Chapter 1558. After fusing with his Dantian, he obtained the power of the heaven pellet, causing the entire divine sense sea to become stronger. As a result, LV Kilian, who had a weaker cultivation in the divine way, could only allow himself to be manipulated by Chen Shang the moment he entered the divine sense sea. Do you still want to learn a live slain method? LV Kilian was soaking in the divine sense sea, preventing his body from being exposed. He even covered his upper body with his hands, preventing the spring light from leaking. I didn't do it on purpose. I'm sorry, but wait for me to calm down. Chen Shang took a deep breath, he had a strange smile on his face. You did it on purpose. LV Kilian clenched her teeth, she wanted to teach Chen Shang a lesson in her heart. Chen Shang laughed. You don't have to be so angry, this is only your divine soul. After checking it with my eyes, I can tell that it's slightly different from the size of your physical body. Shut up and let me out. LV Kilian regretted entering Chen Zhang's divine sense sea very much. Just as she finished speaking, she felt herself floating. There was actually a force that lifted her up, allowing her to surface, allowing her to once again be seen by Chen Shang. You stop thinking so much and turn your head away. LV Kilian shouted anxiously, he did not care about being angry anymore. Chen Shang anxiously turned his head, but LV Kilian immediately floated in front of him, allowing him to once again see her beautiful and naked body. I really didn't mean to. Chen Shang looked helpless, seeing LV Kilian who was so angry that he had nothing to say, he immediately explained. Once I calm down my mind, it will quickly be over. Chen Shang closed her eyes and breathed in deeply. She no longer looked at LV Kilian's alluring body, no longer imagined some unbearable scenes, and she controlled her mind. Before long, a set of clothes appeared on LV Kilian's body. LV Kilian was also relieved. She was afraid that if this continued, she would cause trouble, and she could understand Chen Zhang's dirty thoughts. Right now, she could only blame herself for telling Chen Shang those things. If not, Chen Shang would not have those thoughts. Stop thinking about it. I'll just pretend that what happened just now never happened. She didn't dare to be too strict with Chen Shang right now either. She was worried that Chen Shang would have an even more preposterous idea and that it would become her worst nightmare. Chen Shang hurriedly nodded his head. Hurry up and pass the alive slain method to me. Relax a little, I'll try to see if I can impart my alive slain method into your soul. LV Kilian placed her jade hand on Chen Zhang's forehead. Chen Shang closed his eyes. Unknowingly, something new had appeared in his memory, causing him to be extremely happy. It worked. Yes, while looking at the chants above the cliff, compare them to the chants that I sent into your soul. This way, you should be able to completely integrate them into your soul. If you want to master the heaven-earth killing method quickly, there's no such stone tablet, so you can only use this method. LV Kilian said. There's a lot of content. It looks like it'll take a long time. Chen Shang said. Will it delay your business? It's nothing, it's more important that I pass on my skills to you. She sincerely wanted to repay Chen Shang. Although she was a high and mighty flower emperor, she was also a loyal person. Sister Kilian, why is your soul so weak? Chen Shang should have been cultivating his soul for a period of time, but he was actually inferior to him. Your soul is too strong. Under normal circumstances, my soul can be considered very strong. I really don't know how you cultivate it. LV Kilian snorted, thinking back to what happened earlier, she felt embarrassed. S soul had already started cultivating since a long time ago. Cultivating the divine arts was the imperial dragon race's powerful 9-turn dragon god mantra, especially when he was in the 9 transformations, the power of the 9-turn dragon god mantra could be seen from it. In addition, Chen Shang often trained with Long Shui inside the divine sense C for dual cultivation with Long Shui's powerful soul. Sister Kilian, I have a spiritual cultivation method. I can guarantee that it can help your soul become stronger quickly. Chen Shang said. I've been practicing my current cultivation technique for a very long time. Suddenly changing my cultivation technique to another one wouldn't work. LV Kilian was somewhat regretful. My cultivation technique is called the God's Join method, and is a duo cultivation technique. Stop talking. When LV Kilian heard the name, she had already guessed it. She had heard of it before and thought that it was just a legend. She didn't think that there would actually be such a thing. Then forget it, isn't it just a soul? What's the big deal? It's not like it's the main body. Chen Shang curled his lips. If you want to become a real flower emperor, then the strength of your soul is a must. Your current soul is too weak, so that half-crippled fire emperor is definitely stronger than you, and you still have imperial dragon race's dragon. LV Kilian scoffed, what good is this to you? Your soul is so strong, even if you practice that technique, the one who will suffer is you, right? This is for your own good. Kindly treat her like a donkey liver and lungs. Chen Shang sighed. 3 days had passed and Chen Shang finally obtained the alive slain method. The next thing he needed to do was to integrate all of the parts of the heaven-earth killing method and circulate them together. HMPH, why can't I go out yet? LV Kilian wanted to leave Chen Zhang's divine sense C, but after trying for a while, he was unable to do so. You don't want me to leave at all from the bottom of your heart, hurry up and control your mind. Chen Shang was startled, then said with a face full of grievance, I don't have that kind of thought, I really do. LV Kilian clenched his teeth. You definitely do, and moreover, that kind of thought is very strong, it has already entered your heart, this is going to be troublesome. Then what do we do? I really don't want to do this. Chen Zhang's face was full of innocence. He also wanted LV Kilian to hurry up and leave his divine sense C so that he could start training in the heaven-earth killing method. He had gathered everything now and really wanted to try it out. How should I know? This is the first time you've encountered something like this, and it might be because of something in your heart. If you don't remove that desire, it will be difficult to dispel that desire in the depths of your heart, HMPH. LV Kilian thought about something, and an ugly face and a blush appeared on his face. With regards to matters like the soul, without Long Shui, Chen Shang wouldn't be able to understand it at all. At this moment, he started to miss Long Shui. Chen Shang said, "Then can we wait a few more days? I'll cultivate on my own and see if it can make me forget about some things while I cultivate. That way, you can go out when the time comes." LV Kilian was very helpless. When she came, she had expected that it would take a lot of time, so she could only wait and see. Chen Shang didn't have any evil thoughts right now, he just wanted to quickly cultivate the heaven-earth killing method. Chapter 1559. In order to not make LV Kilian feel lonely, Chen Shang did not hide his soul. He started to organize the incantations for the alive slain method, looking for the common ground among the 5 sets of heaven-earth killing method, but he could not find anything because the content was too complicated, too obscure. I wonder if the philosophic stone is useful. Chen Shang took out the philosophic stone, and then began to comprehend the heaven-earth killing method. Before long, the ground killing, celestial slain method, God slain method, beast slain method, and all the chants in his mind started to disperse, and then merge together. With the help of the philosophic stone, the scattered heaven-earth killing method started to reform and fuse together. LV Kilian's body was currently seated on a stone beside her, and her soul was still in Chen Zhang's divine sense sea. Since her soul could not return to her, her physical body was equivalent to having no soul. At this moment, she felt that something was wrong within Chen Zhang's divine sense sea. Chen Zhang's soul had suddenly disappeared, and the entire divine sense sea had started to churn. She had no choice but to float high in the sky to avoid being splashed by the seawater inside the divine sense sea. This little brat, I wonder how he cultivated his heavenly Dan to the beast form, and he even has a spiritual nature. LV Kilian floated in the air, a white tiger that looked like a little kitten suddenly ran to her side. Although it was emitting killing intent all over, its appearance was extremely adorable, causing her to be unable to resist lifting it up and stroking it gently. These are all heavenly cores in the state of the soul. LV Kilian felt that the little white tiger in his arms had a very strong divine soul and couldn't help but exclaim, "If I were to become stronger in the future, by releasing this divine soul, I can quickly condense a body. I wonder how terrifying that would be." Chen Zhang's divine sense sea only had high Hetn, the sky was covered in a layer of white mist. At this time, she was like the divine sense sea, crazily churning and surging. The beast-type heaven pills inside the divine sense sea were jumping around in excitement. It made LV Kilian's heart jump. She had cultivated for hundreds of thousands of years, but this was the first time she saw someone's cultivation method being so strange. Isn't that the green dragon demon slain broadsword? LV Kilian suddenly saw the divine sense sea below him. A huge green blade suddenly floated in the air, flickering with green light. It's not a green dragon demon slain broadsword, it's a green dragon demon slain broadsword soul blade. LV Kilian took a deep breath. As expected of a divine weapon, just that the soul of the blade is so much stronger than my soul. If the green dragon celestial pill had also entered the divine blade, the blade would probably be even more powerful. Soon after, the profound WU diamond armor also appeared in the divine sense sea, hanging in the sky like a golden curtain in the sky. When Chen Shang was in the absolute monarch sanctuary, she had revealed the profound WU diamond armor in front of LV Kilian, and little Lizzie was not surprised at this moment, but seeing a pair of relatively smaller white gloves floating in front of the little white tiger, she immediately guessed what it was. LV Kilian had seen this pair of hands many times, but she had never thought of it in that way, and now she was sure that it was the white tiger divine weapon, the slaughter god's hand. All 3 of the 4 symbols divine weapons as treasures were actually on Chen Shang. Could it be that it is related to him? Right now, he is only missing the Qilin divine weapon, but this doesn't exist, right? Quote, LV Kilian didn't know what Chen Shang was doing to cause the divine sense sea to become like this, but after that, the sword spirit of the green dragon demon slain broadsword merged with the azure dragon celestial pellet, and the sword spirit of the profound WU diamond armor wrapped around the black tortoise's body, causing the black tortoise's stiff armor to shine with a golden light. It was all because of Chen Shang cultivating the heaven-earth killing method that this happened. Chen Shang did not expect it to happen like this. Why is it like this? Chen Zhang's voice resonated within the divine sense sea. What kind of cultivation technique are you cultivating? The changes in the divine sense sea are usually all related to cultivation techniques. This situation wouldn't happen for no reason. LV Kilian said. The divine sense sea had already calmed down, but continued to pour in a huge amount of God power, continuously opening up the divine sense sea, causing it to grow bigger and bigger. At this point, the divine sense sea was no longer visible, and it was still expanding. Chen Shang was still channeling his heaven-earth killing method, but suddenly there was a big movement inside the divine sense sea. The dense white mist in the sky suddenly spread out, revealing a vast blue sky. LV Kilian looked up with a face full of surprise. Following that, there was a huge commotion as well. More than 10 mountains appeared, standing tall on a flowery island. As soon as the 5 beast-shaped heavenly cores saw the island appear, they immediately charged down, each occupying a region. Seeing that, LV Kilian took a deep breath and exclaimed, "Heaven, Earth, Beast, God Power, Life Force, could it be that you have all gathered heaven-earth killing method? This is all thanks to you passing the alive-slain method to me in the end." Chen Shang did not want LV Kilian to know that you were lying to me before, saying that you only have control over the ground killing. Haha, so it turns out that you have already collected the 4 parts of the heaven-earth killing method. That's right, but it took a lot of my effort to collect it. When Chen Shang saw the elementary form of a small world inside his divine sense sea, he became excited and continued to operate the heaven-earth killing method, hoping that the small world would become stronger. That's the only way. Chen Shang tried for a day but to no avail. The little world inside the divine sense sea was alternating between night and day, just like outside. Right now, it was night inside, and there were only dozens of dim stars in the sky. It's already enough that all the power that has been gathered within your divine sense sea has been able to nurture this small world. If the small world inside your divine sense sea becomes stronger in the future, there will still be divine power being born within it. You don't have to cultivate at all. LV Kilian was extremely envious. Back then, 10 Heavens Supreme Lord was able to dominate the 9 heavens, and even those heavenly realms were willing to admit defeat because of this state he was in. Chen Zhang's divine sense sea suddenly loved to be strong again. When LV Kilian was still unable to go out, it made both her and Chen Shang very confused. "Sister Kilian, how about I pass some heaven-earth killing method to you right now?" Chen Shang said. "I might be able to let you out." "There's no need. With my current strength, I should specialize in cultivation techniques. Cultivating too much would affect my progress. When I need it in the future, I'll come back to find you. I just want to go out now." LV Kilian sat on the shore of the island, hugging his knees, looking at the divine sense sea undulating on the ground with a sad face. Chen Zhang's divine soul appeared by her side, his face was filled with guilt. "I'm sorry, I didn't think that things would turn out like this. I was wrong, too. I was too careless." LV Kilian faintly sighed. "Why don't we go cultivate the God's Join method? It shouldn't have any effect on you." Chen Shang suddenly said. "HMPH, so you've always had this thought in your heart. No wonder I couldn't get out." LV Kilian glared at him, and said resolutely, "No, don't think too highly of yourself." Chapter 1560. He looked at LV Kilian, and his expression became serious. "Then what do we do? If you don't leave my divine sense sea, I won't be in the mood to do my thing, and I will even delay you. Think of it slowly, but I can't do it that way." LV Kilian's attitude was extremely firm. Even though it was only a union of the soul, she definitely could not tolerate it, even though she did not hate Chen Shang very much. Chen Shang took a light breath, as if he had decided on something, and said to LV Kilian, "Even if I can't tolerate you. If you want to be strong, come at me." LV Kilian immediately jumped up and distanced himself from Chen Shang. "Chen Shang, there were some contradictions between you and I in the past, but didn't we resolve it later on? Furthermore, we get along well now. I have long regarded you as my good friend, and you are also my savior. In the future, I will continue to repay you." When LV Kilian said these words, it proved that she was terrified. She didn't want her own soul to be violated by Chen Shang. "Forget it, then let's just wait like this." Chen Shang sighed, laid on the ground, and looked up at the sky. LV Kilian heaved a sigh of relief. She had almost been scared to death by Chen Shang, because in here, she had no way of resisting. "The God's Join method that you mentioned, can only be kissed, right?" After LV Kilian asked this question, his face was slightly red. "I think we can, let's give it a try. Anyway, we've already truly kissed on the body." Chen Shang suddenly became spirited, causing him to curse a few times in his heart. Thinking back to that previous feeling, LV Kilian still cherished it a little. This time, it was she who walked closer to Chen Shang, whispering, "Only engaged once, don't act recklessly, don't be so rough." Having just finished speaking, Chen Shang pulled her into his embrace. Looking at her beautiful face, he lightly touched it, then lowered his head and grabbed her sweet, fragrant lips. The last time LV Kilian had kissed her, she wasn't as immature as before. Under Chen Zhang's guidance, she became extremely proficient, her sweet tongue pandering to Chen Zhang's teasing, as she wriggled her lips and sucked up. After a while, LV Kilian wanted to struggle free, because Chen Shang was not training at all, but taking advantage of her. What made her afraid was, she did not know why, but she had that desire. "We can't continue." LV Kilian suddenly felt his body heating up. It was the same for Chen Shang, it was a little hotter than her. "Brat, let me go." LV Kilian's clothes had already disappeared. Under the control of Chen Zhang's mind, her soul turned into the original state. "It's over." LV Kilian felt her body being petted greedily by Chen Shang and knew that Chen Shang had already fallen into the abyss of evil desire. She did not know why, but her heart was also filled with desire and she suspected that it was because she was in Chen Zhang's divine sense C and was affected by Chen Zhang's strong evil will. "I'll kill you." LV Kilian clenched his teeth and said, then cried out in pain, although it was his soul, but the feeling was extremely real. Chen Shang and LV Kilian laid on the beach, entangled together. The waves that kept on crashing into her body gradually weakened, their souls merged with each other and in a very wonderful state, their minds were relaxed, causing the two of them to sink into the sea. Chen Shang started to revolve the God's join method, because in this state, it was best to do so. 10 days passed just like that, but Chen Shang and LV Kilian felt like 2 hours had passed. That kind of wonderful feeling made them forget about time. Chen Shang looked at the dried-up divine sense sea, covered his head and said, "I never thought that I would lose so much divine power in one go." Divine sense sea had become very shallow, and at first glance, he could see a dry, cracked ground. The blue sky had already been covered by a layer of filth, and the mountain peaks on the island were originally green, but now they were completely barren. LV Kilian's face was rosy, her entire body was filled with spirit energy and surrounded by holy light. At this moment, she could release her clothes by herself, and she was no longer under the control of Chen Zhang's divine will. She did not expect the God's join method to be so powerful. "Your foundation has not wavered. You just need to absorb some saint force and you will be fine." At this moment, her relationship with Chen Shang had become very subtle. Chen Shang chuckled. "You should be able to leave now, right?" LV Kilian nodded, her current appearance was as though something had never happened between her and Chen Shang. After that, she turned into a ray of white light and disappeared within Chen Zhang's divine sense sea. Inside the valley, the water flowed, birds cried, and the fragrance of flowers wafted. LV Kilian finally came out from Chen Zhang's divine sense sea. Looking at the real world, she couldn't help but think of the illusory world inside Chen Zhang's divine sense sea. However, the things that happened inside were incomparably real, especially the bone-eating infatuation she had with Chen Shang when she was at the seaside, which made her feel like she was experiencing it firsthand. "Didn't you say to kill me?" Chen Shang said smilingly when he saw the intoxicated red on LV Kilian's face, as if he had seen through her thoughts. "HMPH," LV Kilian said crisply, then took out a stage 4 Immortal Yushan Dan, "Quickly eat it, you are extremely weak right now." Chen Shang laughed and opened his mouth, indicating that LV Kilian should feed him. "Damned brat, I truly want to kill you." LV Kilian cursed as she placed the Yushan Dan into his mouth. As expected of the 100 Flowers Emperor, he was almost squeezed dry by you. Chen Shang swallowed the pellet, smiled, and said, "You probably can't bear to kill me now, right? Let's do it a few more times. With your cultivation speed, your soul will quickly catch up to mine." LV Kilian turned his head, turned his face towards Chen Shang, and said faintly, "Is this really no harm to you?" That kind of increasing speed made LV Kilian worry for Chen Shang. "No, if our souls are equal, then it will be beneficial to both of us, and we will need to train with the two souls to be able to unleash the God's join method. If one side has too much of a difference, the stronger side will quickly help him make up for it." Back then, after Long Shui had cultivated with him a few times, Long Shui would occasionally look for him. LV Kilian did not say much. "Let's go back." She brought Chen Shang up to a transmission array, then activated it and returned to the secret room in Hundreds of Flowers Palace. After Chen Shang ate that piece of Yushan Dan, The divine sensei seemed to have gotten better and became more spirited. You're in a hurry to get back. You need my help? LV Kilian asked. No need, your hundreds of flowers palace better not be involved in this matter too much. I don't want you and your 10 Heavens Supreme Lord to be targeted by some powerful people. Chen Chong caressed her face and laughed. I can handle my own matters. LV Kilian slapped his hand away and said in a low voice, then when you use poison, you should be careful. Right now, the Sky region are already involved.